big desk.
Well, if I don't see you tomorrow, I'll see you on Friday.
Sounds good.
Yep. Take care. Have a good one.
Hey guys, yeah, 2 o'clock on a Wednesday afternoon. Max is actually going to be back tomorrow afternoon, so stand by for that. 0.7 right now for the NASDAQ to the downside, 0.33 for the S&P to the downside. Roblox still doing nothing, grinding around the lows of the day. Huge move downside, unfortunately, for RBLX today. Very mixed board as far as the S&P is concerned. There is a decent amount of strength coming through in certain areas, but not enough, unfortunately, to offset weakness from tech, specifically some of these semiconductors, 3.5% for NVIDIA, AMD down better part of 2% now. Broadcom as well, 3.25 downside. There are a few that are positive on the day, but just the little ones, unfortunately. Apple, 0.6 negative. Google was more than this, 0.5% now downside. Microsoft about the same. Meta still struggling as well, 1.2 in negative territory. 1.7 there for Oracle under pressure. 2 days in a row here, some of the banks downside coming off that Moody's downgrade of some of the little banks and some of the mid-sized banks. That was yesterday, but not much improvement so far today. Amazon still a full percent in negative territory. Mentioned some of the retailers early on this morning showing some relative strength here. Home Depot, one of those, still up 0.5%. We get earnings from both of these, Walmart and Home Depot, coming up next week. Still some strength as well down here from energy stocks. XOM specifically having a nice day, almost 2% to the upside for XOM. Tesla, same story, almost 2% downside, unfortunately. So a little bit ugly as we head through the afternoon for Tesla. Some of the other EV names as well under pressure. 4-week low coming through right now for the NASDAQ as well. We're off the lows, but still we did touch 1 month low here for the Qs before we did bounce back up to 370. So a lot to take in as we head through the afternoon here, see if we can't find some opportunities for you. Hope your afternoon is going well. We talked about a ton of stuff if you were with us in the pre-market this morning, including a ton of earnings names that were coming through both last night and then in the pre-market. One of those was Rivian. A decent report for Rivian. They increased their production guidance, but still negative numbers, guys, across the board.
Yes, sir. And make sure I'm not muted.
Rivian.
Rivian. Oh, wherefore art thou, Rivian? To the downside.
It wasn't even that bad, really.
No, actually, you know what? The odd thing about Rivian is, of all like the bottom picks, I feel as if like this one was probably the most controlled for me. I wasn't really looking breakout here. I think obviously here you got to look for a reversal trade. So let's get that out of the way. There's going to be a lot of charts that look like this where I like certain shorts and I certainly did not think about other ones enough. I just played a 24 level on it. Did not get a break of the high. Waited for a bounce. It looked pretty good. Had it twice off 24 to 24.20. And exactly when you exit the trade is precisely the moment. I guess everyone had the same idea on the stop for Rivian, eh? Like it holds the 24 with a 23.90 bottom the second that went. Arrows to the downside. No reversal for me. Do not pass go. Do not collect. All that good stuff. And if you look at it on the daily, you are now broken through that channel. It had been a good, I guess, the consolidation level for Rivian. It tried to take out that top. It failed the top. Now it's failed the bottom. That's not generally very bullish. It feels as if next stop could be this convergence on the 50 and the 200 period, which is right at $20. So underneath 24, probably more likely underneath 23 in the upcoming days. A move to 20 would not be ridiculous if you are truly breaking this channel down. However, you could always wick this bottom and recover tomorrow, or even right now, so you want to give it some room here. But Rivian should have been in reverse when that 24 came in. You can have the right price level. You got to make a decision there. Part of it is to get out of a long. That's obviously correct to do so, but the other part of it is to try to sniff out that short. There was one shot off 23 I think you could have had, but by that time, I was kind of focused back on the stocks that were working for me, which was all the penny stocks. So Rivian, I'll slap a fail on it just because even though it wasn't that bad, and oddly, the long was actually good, that should have been a short reversal, 10 times out of 10.
I can't win here on the chat. Like, I'm long AMD now, and then what's up to Larry Wanta? How are you doing, my guy? He's like, oh, forever hopium. No, I mean, look, I was short AMD. I have actually been short probably more often than I'm long the last little while for sure. But right here, here's AMD. We were going short, now we're long, and we're going to cash them out here. Now 40 cents in the money on that one. We were really screwing up Roblox. We're going to get to that. No, we won't, but we'll talk about that in a minute there. Biggest loser today, Roblox. We haven't touched Rivian at all since this. So, you know, there's the 24, there's the 2350, and that 2250 held. You know, that was the level. We knew that there was going to be some kind of barcoding happening there. But as I look at it, it's like, you know, you would have thought that that would have worked, which is what we tried there at 23. That didn't. So I just left it alone. You know, if you keep on trying, eventually it's going to work. But, you know, you can't let your net keep on trying. So, you know, that's what I did there on Rivian. It's too bad. Again, not a big hit. We're going to be red on it. Is what it is. Yesterday, Lucid, we saw a similar move there in the afternoon, but it started to get going at 10 o'clock yesterday. Downside move in the 620. Then basically right there at 10, when we broke the day's high, we kept on going and never came back. So for Rivian, you're seeing quite the opposite today, where here's the move down, and then 10 o'clock, like we actually start breaking lower until we really break this 23. I mean, maybe we're getting close right now. This 2320 area, I think that could be a good long, but again, down 7% today. I don't really want to catch it. I'm just going to stick with the stock that's been the best for me today. AMD, huge move down to the short. That's 113. That's a 109 final cover there, 109.50. So we take that out. Then we go short again. Now we're into the long there for AMD. So we'll get over all of these. But yeah, Rivian today, a little disappointing. I almost got long Tesla down there at 242. I put a bid at 242 flat in my long-term account. You know where it went to? 242.20 there. So we'll see. Maybe next couple of days or maybe even this afternoon.
You know what you did wrong.
We'll get some more 240. Well, I mean, I just could put any other price.
69. 242.69 is the price.
I mean, anything.
It always. Max had a rule about this. When he said every single time, just put a 69 cents on it because it always gets there. It was, and every time he said that to me, it was just dead on. Like,
yeah.
If I had $1 break and I was offering in front of 75, he's like, no, don't offer 72 or 73. Offer 69 every time.
I mean, science, I guess. All right, back to the desk, and we'll talk about liftoff.
Just be aware, guys, they're talking about this Penn deal with Disney on CNBC right now. Lyft, meanwhile, still kind of chopping around here. We did get an attempt at a recovery today, back to the upside, but right back to session lows, essentially. Even off a decent report, but I mean, it seemed like it was in the call almost once we got some selling coming back in, and then it was just a matter of grinding along the lows here. Following otherwise, what was a decent report?
Yeah, it was good. They had the ridership was up year over year. The problem was they're engaged in a price war with Uber at the moment, and that may not be a fight they want to take on because Uber's a bit bigger and can handle a bit more of the pressure. Their average revenue per ride was down, looking to hold that 1050 level, Brendo.
I just saw some volume coming back into this, so just be aware again, CNBC guys talking about this Penn deal right now with ESPN.
Okay, because that wasn't a ton of volume, I thought, on that one. And really, Penn, not something I trade anyways, but I thought today maybe there'd be something. I couldn't figure a trade. Lyft, I did have a couple of ideas on Lyft. One was, look at the range. It's pretty obvious between the 50 and the 200 on the daily, and it's a bit of a channel. 1065 bottom, and the last couple of days, like 1115. So I executed one side of it, was to have a look at the break down through that level at the open, took the break, it was on its way to the pre-market low, it bounced, I stopped it out saying don't want it to get all the way back above. I did not play the other side of that, which was breaking out to the upside. That was clearly a missed opportunity because the breakout to the upside was golden. But if you were trading this morning, once a short failed, I wasn't really thinking about reversing long the way the market was going down. But hey, it ended up being a decent long off that 11 area breakout. But I like this short now. If it's coming all the way back, the market bounces, and this barely is even moving off the lows. Underneath that same level, I think I'm going to go for a short to pop here on Lyft. And Reliable Rudy, I'm no longer in Mullen. I got trailed out of that Mullen short. It looks like it took out VWAP on me there, so it was looking short, but I'm out of that one now. So good luck with your Mullen trade.
Oh, let's go right now. Obi, my guy over there, watching out for some Roblox. We're on this one. We finally smartened the hell up on this name. Started to go short right now. Got our ass handed to us long. There's no doubt about that. And then here I am putting in 700 shares, 800. Like, it won't even go upside here at all. We're able to take advantage. I was sitting here at my desk all day. You probably saw in the midday show. Finally went upside a little bit there. We got some out in the 20s and 30s. And then I was just like, you know what? Once we got stopped out on that break, I just said, whatever, we're going short. So that's exactly what we did there for Roblox. So here comes some real selling now into that game. Congratulations, Obi, and anybody else that has this one, because this is a real one right now. Downside here on Roblox, finally making that move back in. So wow, we'll make a little bit back there, but this was a tough trade for me today. There's no doubt about that. Real quick here, Amazon. Hallelujah for that one, baby. Again, shout out to Obi on the midday show. No problem giving credit over here. That was a bottom of 137. I heard these guys talking about it. I was watching Amazon. I wanted a strong name in case the market rebounded like it's been doing. And that's it right there, 137. Good look there on that. And we just took it out for $1.50. So one more Dollar Trade Club right there for you on Amazon today. AMD, what's up to Larry Wanta? I know you're a Packer fan, but you know, you were telling me to sell. AMD, nice little upside move right now. And we are now 65 cents in the money. Well, we just were in the money here on Advanced Micro Devices. Let's put an offer right here, see if we can get a little bit more out as the market's starting to retrace back upside a little bit. And we're holding on to some of these longs, man. So there it is. We shorted in front of 111. Once it broke, we went long. And now you can see we're long at 110.83. We actually got a dip buy back here to VWAP again. Shout out to Brian Shannon there. But, you know, big, huge movement back upside. Yeah, buddy. Making some of that money back here in the afternoon. I hope you guys are enjoying it. And we're going to be, whoa, okay. Here comes Roblox again, man. Nice little move. Back down into the 40s. Let's keep going on this one. No idea where this is going to stop. We saw a lot of pressure at 30. Wasn't breaking all day. Absolutely doing nothing. And there it is, man. Now we're a little bit of floodgates starting to open up. There we go. We'll take a 48 there. Let it come back in. We still have half of this position on. It's Roblox. It's downside. And we're in this one. So let's go back over. Oh, Lyft. Neil just talked about it. I did want to look at Uber real quickly here. Not really down as much as I had hoped for. We're still waiting for a 42 bid right there. But you're at the 50 period. You want to pick up some Uber. This isn't a horrible opportunity. The only stock that I'm bidding now for my long-term portfolio, we talked about that, is Tesla.
A bit of a trend here developing as far as these earnings plays are concerned today, and that is not much love for any of them. Once the market gets open, even Twilio, that was up nicely here in the pre-market, just gets absolutely sold right back down through $60, even though much better than expected numbers across the board. 54 cents versus 29. 1.04 billion sales versus 984 million. Not much to not like, but this market not very positive today.
No, a bit of a tough day on the market, no question about that, Brendo. Look, like you said, revenue up 10% year over year. Analysts like it as well. You have 15 strong buys, 17 buys, 3 holds, and only 3 sells, Brendo. So the analysts like it as well.
Overall, we are getting a little bit of an uptick here at the moment. I was keeping an eye on Penn there still, but Twilio, guys, what was the idea today?
Well, the idea was long, and the idea was incorrect. But right now, we're in the money $1 at least. Let's go AMD to the upside right now. But let's just talk about Twilio. I've got rid of my 3-minute chart. Forget it. I just want to show you guys what I use here. It's a 1-minute chart. And you can see right here, whoopsies, we really like that 63 break. You know, and we put that on the stick. You know, we had it early. That's $1.50, more than that. We took $1.50, but there's a 63 break. Take 50 cents first, then $1.50. Then we averaged in and got crushed on that move back down in. This move was fine, but now we've rebought it at 59, tried to find a bottom. So although we're getting, let's go, AMD is right now $1 in the money on that one. But what we were talking about with Twilio, and I think it's true of all these earnings plays. You saw it there with Rivian, although Rivian's not as clean as this. And that is this, let the momentum take it wherever it wants to go. try to find bottoms. And I don't mind losing when you try to find a bottom and it's not right. I mean, we saw that on Roblox. I tried 30 a bunch of times before I finally got smart to short it. But right now, that was pretty good. So you make that bottom there at 59, right? Comes back in, tests it again. That's where I was like, all right, let's just take it against that 59. We have enough room there. So this made a lot of sense to me. So now that it's going back up to upside, we just got out at 60.50 not too long ago. So it's a nice move back up. We're trying to hold it, see if this can get going. But with the market reversing quite nicely right here, Twilio, wow, AMD still. Twilio with a nice move up to 60.50. We took advantage of it, but again, that's fine. Like basically, off this move and then this, we were still fine. We got hit right there, and now we're trying to make some back on this last little section part. So I feel like we get a little bit too excited on earnings plays, especially first thing in the morning. So let it settle down. The problem was this was 10:30, so it didn't really make that bottom until about 11 o'clock. So crystal ball be damned, I didn't have it on this one with Twilio. But I like the idea, and I still think it's going to be a good second day play. Let's see where it goes. Still up 3%. Good report. Not bad. Upstart, like there's so many names that are being killed today that the fact that they're still up is probably a good thing. We don't have too many shares left. We only have 20%.
I like to say 2.25% it's still up. Probably has to do with how it fell yesterday. But I always feel like when you have a stock and you have a plan of action, just try to stick to the plan. Like that's the best thing you can ever do. So I liked the potential break. I said this has been really range bound in here. I don't want to mess around. I want to trading at new prices, finding support at 60 if it could do so, and then maybe through that 64. So those are the only trades I have. When I'm wrong, I always, on my 15-minute chart, one way that I look at it and say, okay, well, did I play this right? If it didn't work right away, what should it look like on my chart? Overlapping triangles. That's the way I like to see it. Like in just one time, like there should be nothing away from it. Like getting more long in and holding it and all the way to the bottom. Now get in, get out if it doesn't work. Now if it's working, you hold on to it. If you don't, then make sure you get out of the trade. So Twilio at no point was really trending in the right direction. So I did not hold on to it. I'm not in it. I don't think I will trade this again, but if it holds and closes above that 60 level, then that would be a reclaim of that level. And on the higher time frame, that looks pretty darn good in a red day. It holds the 200 period moving average, holds the support level, a wick underneath it on a weekday for the overall market. And if it starts to form a base, that's still relatively bullish compared to what we're seeing in the overall market. And it would still have me looking for the long tomorrow and Friday, as long as it wants to hold that support. And then the breakout from here can still be intact. You just got to wait for your chance and then pounce when it does happen. On a day as red as this, something like even if it's relatively strong might not give you the long you want, but it can give you a sign that there's enough strength that when the market bounce happens, this is a name that I want to be involved in.
All right, let's go on to Upstart here. Wow. What a day for Upstart to the downside. What is it? 34.5%. This is all you need to know. Weak guidance is a problem these days.
Yeah, well, look, they beat. There was an earnings surprise of 200%, but the forecast, like Brendel mentioned, not good. Their conversion rate was down as well. So people applying for loans and actually following through with them was down 13% year over year. We also heard about consumer goods spending by, you guessed it, the consumer declining on goods, more on services. That stands to hurt buy now, pay later.
Yeah,
companies.
No bid today, guys. That's the story for Upstart.
There was no bid for Upstart, but thankfully, for whatever reason, Affirm went up this morning. Because if Affirm didn't pop, I never could have had this. Because I was like, yeah, well, if there's a squeeze in Upstart, I like Affirm on a failed break of 16. But that had everything to do with, I mean, look at the last few days on this stock. Like it double tops at this 20 level, reject, lower high at 18, break down here underneath the 16 level, so your next channel is the 16. Then I'll go to the 3 minute, why not? And then you had this kind of double top yesterday at 1580. It wicks through 16, comes back underneath, and then trades right down into the bottom of the range. So it set up perfectly, but it was fortunate that this happened to be going up when the market was going down, because I was thinking that would only happen if Upstart pressed up and started dragging some of the fintech into the upside. But anyways, it did work. I'm out of it. I don't think I fight this. It's above VWAP. It held the low of the day. I don't think fighting this short makes any sense because in a lot of ways it's been relatively strong, but played the range on Affirm. I think I come back to this level and almost think above 16 even, this is setting up for a bit of a breakout, because now I see a series of higher lows all of a sudden. So as much as I like that short, I'm not sure I like it tomorrow unless we're testing underneath 15. This could end up being a weird breakout style trade on a firm. Upstart was a disappointment because it was lots of SSR attempt levels, and I had some good bounces on it. None of them wanted to follow through. Like for more than, I got the dollar move in here and a bit more. That's why it ends up being okay. But yeah, small follow through, doesn't go anywhere. It got like 40 cents and flushed. And then here it goes $1 and then flushes again, always course stopping out. I had this one off the bottom at 34.50 and lost 20 cents in there. It was just these little shots. And the only one that really worked was right here at the 37 level. So you can go for the SSR bounces, but if you don't get that that second bounce. The first bounce is fine, but you want that second pop after a consolidation for a higher low. That's where you get the big moves like the XPengs, and Square did this as well. They just never happened. I don't know of any of the SSR names that gave you that second push today. So you had to be happy with what the market gave you and just make sure you adhered to your stop if you're looking for those bounce plays.
Yeah, that's the thing. Shout out to Tony Price here when I sort of coined this buy now, pay never for a firm. I remember when they made that deal there with Amazon, and the stock for some reason went to like 120 or even higher than that. Buy now, pay never. But you know what? I don't know. Upstart is... Obviously, I'm not talking about Upstart, I'm talking about a firm. Upstart today, if we just go to the same old strategy again where you don't do anything with it, you let it try to barcode and find an area. So let's just see if that would have worked today. Look, I don't have any marks on here today, so nothing for me, and that would not have worked. So now that I'm looking at this, the only thing really, that's a 50-period moving average, the pink, so you could have really respected that and never really gotten in too much trouble. It broke it only a few times, and you would have been able to most likely hold, a 30 or 40 cent break if that did happen. But if you are looking to get long, I mean, you could always use recent bottoms. So that's 33.80 right now. Not horrible to think about a long here against that 33.50 area. But this name is down more than 50%. Let's see if I can get the daily chart to load up here. Probably not. More than 50% since where it's... Yeah, darn it. Okay. Anyways, more than 50% from where it came from here. Upstart. Let me just show you this on a bigger scale. Whenever you have a name that has been run up due to, there it is right there, $70, due to a short squeeze on really nothing fundamentally changing, then yeah, you do have to watch out for actual, related news, which would be earnings. And that's just happened here today. There's the high, right? The high made on August 1st. Of 72.58, August 1st. That's 5 trading days ago, okay? And you're chopped in more than half in 5 days, right? And so what has the company done differently? Absolutely nothing, except for tell you who they really are, and that's not profitable name. And unless you are a not-for-profit organization, that's not a great idea. So we're going to wait to see here what's going on with Upstart. At some point, it's going to get juicy to buy again. Oh, there it is. It loaded up. Okay. So you might be getting that right now down to $30. That could be an area of support that we could run into. If you do go long 30, I'd watch out for $28 falling down even more into that again. These guys provide financing to small businesses, AI companies, things like that. So, there is a potential for them to get going a little bit. I wouldn't be surprised if they do get a little bit of a bounce off $30, but that's still 15% from here. Roblox, we're not going to talk about that, but Roblox is bouncing a little bit. We did really good getting out there when that flushed down, and we were talking about this with Obi. So maybe get one more piece out now and see if it does continue to move down, but we don't need to be in this name for too much longer. Roblox, we've done well shorting this after losing all of our day long.
All right, we'll wrap up with Penn here. Started to go there a little bit again as they were talking about it on CNBC, but not really doing much. You can see the volumes kind of died down once again. Heavy volume all day long, though, if you miss it again. Teaming up with ESPN, they'll launch their own sports betting book via ESPN and Disney. But it was a bit of a choppy trade to start here. Right out of the gate this morning, ends up getting sold off a bit.
Yeah, still up 11.25%, not bad, especially with what other names have been able to do on the day. It's a good look. Dave Portnoy coming out and saying that he's going to own the entire thing. He takes back 100% ownership. That's after Penn paid $500 million in, I believe it was February or March, for the part that they didn't actually own. Portnoy coming out and saying, I am never going to sell. So some of the restrictive covenants that they've instituted here, at least according to him, may not be worth anything.
We shall see.
Yeah.
They reported as well in that same announcement, 48 cents versus 42. Sales were in line with estimates. Obviously, everyone focusing on this instead. What happened, Sean? What happened?
Oh, man. All right, so we'll just go like bang. No, we won't. We'll do that instead. And then we'll do a bang because right there, I forgot that I had an Amazon offer right here, ending the position. We were just long there, 137.11, out 138. And the reason why we got out right there is because it just came right back to that 139. We should have... that's okay. This is a good support area. The NASDAQ's well up. I just really like this long on Amazon. We battled it all. We didn't battle it at all, actually. This came through. This is the kind of risk to reward, just so you guys understand how I'm trading this. Obviously, it's going to be a green name today. We tried it against 138 and lost. We lost 20 cents on that long, basically. Then we take it again. Boom, boom, boom. $1.80 there on the top. So that was a good trade. But again, just came back into this area. The fact that I was waiting there might be a short for Amazon. But I did want to give a shout out here to Paul. Was it Paul DeLuca? Sorry about that. Hold on a second. Oh, yeah, there it is. Well, what's up to Paul DeLuca? What's up?
It's a catcher for the Dodgers.
Yeah, that's why I was like, anyways, Paula DeLuca, how do we see what Sean is holding during lunchtime? So we could possibly start to do that, and where we'll flip through some of my positions and Neil's positions and whoever's on the midday show as well. That is something that we will consider doing. So thank you so much for that. It's not every single day. I'm addicted to trading, so I'll generally be sitting here pretty much all lunchtime, looking for more opportunities, prepping the aftermarket show, which I'm going to take a lot of pride in and bring you guys the best show there. But yeah, that's a good idea. We'll put that on our to-do list. Thank you, Miss Paula DeLuca. Italian? Are you Italian by any chance?
He was a good catcher. My first hit was Paul LaDuca, but he was pretty good. This was something that we got a lot of questions about that last week when Max was on, and just to reiterate, we were saying last week we'd find a way to be able to do that. I think it is doable because all you have to do is refresh. It's all in the same system. Neither one of us traded Penn or DraftKings today, and I don't think I've ever traded Penn. And I said this morning, I didn't have any idea about the liquidity on the stock or how it moved. DraftKings didn't really see a setup either, so a bit unfortunate. I wanted to get to something because I'm probably going to get trailed out of this if any shorts come into this market, although the market looking pretty strong. But we talked about BABA breaking 94 yesterday, and we kind of had that long idea breaking out late in the day, and it just didn't really go. It was a nice bottom. It couldn't really follow through that much, kind of went 20 cents to the upside and couldn't go any further than that 20 cents. And then it gapped up $2 and I was like, okay, well, that one just got away from us. You're not going to get a chance to go long off 94 again. Well, that was wrong because the market decided to tank. BABA gave a triple bottom, although I didn't take it the third time through. Dipped once into 94, dipped twice into 94. It's broken VWAP. I'm trailing underneath here, which is this level. Right before the show sort of ended there, that 95 area. If it gets down to 95.15, I'm out of this trade. I think you try to hold for the home run, but the market is getting very, very close. When I say the market, I know Bob doesn't always care about what's going on with the NASDAQ, but if you look at where we are right now, that one consolidation, we're already dumping really early in the day, right? And that one consolidation where it felt like we could bounce, rejected 15.3 on the NASDAQ. And that's exactly where we are right now. So I have a trailing stop on the one long. I have a long and a buyout, but the one long that's on a momentum stock. If we fail this level, I am getting out of Dodge on Alibaba. I'll be happy that it worked off that level and gave us a couple of cracks at it. Might have missed an opportunity in here to get back in. I don't know that I wanted to go off the same level, but this is not that bad. It's giving you a higher low, and maybe you can find a way to get long. I did not. That would be the one thing I would do differently. And then a couple of other names. I started with it the other day when Nikola was like this, and it was the first thing I was in. It should have been an all-day short. Was the same thing today. Like, it should have just been a little bit more aggression with the stock that Nobody wanted to buy this thing up, that's for darn sure. I don't know where they're headed, but it's probably not good for WeWork. I'm not going to get into the fundamentals, but it was a short the pop situation. I have added a few times on the way. Every single opportunity with the exception of this second shot at 17. There was another at 15. There was a pop in here to 14. I shorted that. It broke down at 13. I've added through 13 as well, and I'm bidding all the way to 11. That and PTRA, I said that was the stock that's getting deleted tomorrow. Been short that in a tight range as well. So let's see what happens with this market. We're at a very, very key level. This is when you want to look at some individual names that could have a curl or a follow through. I got my eyeballs on NVIDIA. If it was at 436, I think I'd be taking a shot at this short already, but it's $2 away from that key hump, that same level of consolidation where some of the bounce was happening and then everything took off to the downside of NVIDIA, right at that 436. This is where I would look for a potential reversal on this thing. I don't know if there's anything else. I'm looking for, like, Apple's not at 180, maybe Microsoft, but the futures are at a key level now. And if we fail it, I want to put something on Softies, not at 327. That's the level I like for the short there. I'm going to look for a big cap name that I like on this rollover, if it happens.
Yeah. I like when Neil talks chip names because it gives us an opportunity to do something like this. So again, AMD continues. Probably the number one name. I don't know, maybe for all time. I think Microsoft could be it. AMD could be as well here. But look, it's just another big trade here for this. You know, play the names that get demolished. Take it. Breaks VWAP, huge move to the upside right now for AMD. Another 90-cent winner here. As we got probably too many out here at 111.30 into this bottom right there. But, you know, again, now it's trying to make new moves higher there. Let's check out on Amazon. Yeah, look at Amazon. That's why we were a little bit upset about that. Twilio still trying to go as well. And then, I don't know, I'm the one in Roblox. So right now, Roblox is making a move to the downside. I don't really see... you know, this is just a big candle the other way. Normally it's like a big FU one to the upside if you're getting squeezed up, but now you're getting just pushed down here pretty badly. That last move right there, well, I don't know, I have to look it up. That's back in January. Roblox has just given up every single thing this year. So it's all the way back. It's down now 22%. I don't know. I'm just going to let this fade out, man. This is going to be a big win here for us. I've got, like, right now, if you're rocking with me, it's AMD 90 cents in the money, Roblox 70 cents in the money, and Twilio 90 cents in the money. So it's been a good day here, and we're going to continue it. Not a great morning. We've talked about that. But Roblox here getting a little money back. Glad we finally shorted that one. Wow. Into oblivion right now. There goes Roblox. Let's sit on the bid and take some of this right there at 14. Boom, there it is right now. You can go into the gates of hell, Roblox. You cost me a hell of a lot of money today, but glad we have this one. Now 80 cents in there and back down. Good move there for Roblox. Let's go back over to Brendo.
Yeah, rundown brought to you by Trade Ideas, real-time scanning and alerting used on the desk by everyone you see on the show. See what's moving in the moment. Check out the QR code, bottom right corner of the screen, guys. Take advantage of this if you haven't. Great deal, 20% off. Trader TV 20. Shout out to our friends over at Trade Ideas.
Yes, sir. And we all use it here. That's why we say, like, check out that Trade TV 20. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I feel like there's one thing that most traders on the floor have had as an add-on. Like, there's been a couple out there, but certainly Trade Ideas, especially for scanning stocks. You'll see me use it all the time. I have other scanners, like my high-day Momo scanner. I feel like today's not going to have too many on it, but every now and then it can be pretty good. I wanted to get to a name that Sharif was talking about. Was Sharif, you were in Blink, right? Yes, sir. It was you? Okay, so Blink, and the second you called it up, I was looking at, 27% short flow, getting destroyed on the weekly chart, and hasn't really had a second leg to the upside. There's your higher low, reports earnings, and is trying to take out this channel here through 7.25. If it gets through it looks like 750 to 770, a big level on that name. So that is a name that is on the radar. Shout out for pointing out. There's so many stocks moving today. Like, trust me, like, you could have found a million high flyers and movers going up or down, but that's one setting up for a potential squeeze if it can make that second push. About that 720 level looks pretty good to me. Just a couple of shorts on this one. An ad, pretty much been adding along the way here. So the price will never stay the same if you're finding multiple ways to get in. I'm bidding in front of this 12 here. Got to play. It's almost like every 1.3 cents is going to be about 10% here. So you're going to see me on bids in front of those 12s, in front of those 11s, pretty much the entire way. And as far as I'm concerned, this level right here on the NASDAQ is worth it to go into short. Someone had mentioned, have a look at Tesla. Tesla, I mean, 248 seems like the level. Like, you look at where it was rejecting at 248. I don't know if I see it on Tesla for a potential short at that level. I do like Lyft. That's where my mind was going at the beginning on a pop, but Lyft can't even get off the bid right now. So this is not even necessarily a short the pop situation. This is it's barcoding, it's down 9%, and it's given everything back. If it can't even pop and the market reverses, I can see this going to the downside. So I feel like this is one I want for sure. NVIDIA, maybe $1.50 away from where I like the short, but wow, for the market to be continuously bouncing and this not to move is usually telling you something.
All right, just trying to check out the chat. You did talk about trade ideas. Join me tonight as we'll have some screen sharing going on with Michael Noss from Trade Ideas. Thanks, Ramin, for that. As we're going to go over some cool ideas. I'm going to talk to him about oil a little bit, so I don't know if he has something planned. I know he's probably watching right now, so shout out to you, Michael Noss. He's going to be one of the regulars on the after show. So I just feel like a lot of traders that want to come by after the market are looking for some trade ideas. Michael Noss is going to give you some swing plays. We're going to talk about that, some opinions that I have on holding different names for longer terms, and then we'll also, or just days, weeks, whatever, we're going to discuss that. So join for more educational there after show today, and then tomorrow Neil will be filling in on Friday, and then it'll be a regular thing moving forward, except for some reason we have to take holidays around here. So on those days, we'll have people filling in, but should be a good one there. I think Max, they said, was back tomorrow, so he'll be on the midday show, and then Obi will be filling in for me on Friday as we have another Little League tournament to attend to. Practice tonight again. And then games coming up soon. What's up, Squanchy? There, yeah, it should be good. Oh, and I'm going to find more guests, man. I've got Daniel Shea coming through as a regular as well on the show, so that should be a lot of fun. So just stay tuned. Like I said, you're rocking with us now, so it will be all good. All right, that's that. Now, what else? All right, Roblox, we just talked about that. I took some good bids down there at 29.12. That should be pretty good. Let's check out Rivian again. Oh, all right, so Rivian's doing that barcode thing.
I'm staring at it too.
Oh, you were looking at it too? Okay, yeah, so that 23.10 right there, that's a short, because if you can even short it right now against that 23.10 and bring it all the way back down. That's not a horrible idea either. The only thing is it's down 7%. I'd rather stay away from earnings-related names just because I don't know when hedge funds or real money will come in and start to either hedge out some of the positions that they already have, or quite frankly, cover whatever short they have from the morning. That is always a risk when you're sitting here looking for opportunities in this market.
I'm looking at the break on this thing, though.
The breakdown right now?
Yeah, I'm getting into it right.
You're getting into it?
So I was looking at Lyft, and I did take Lyft, and I'm like, if the market were to fall from here, like, what's presenting you at a key level? Well, this is the 23 to 23.10, so a short underneath that is basically 15 cents worth of risk. The low of the day is 22.35. This actually didn't go SSR. Like, it didn't go short sell restricted because it missed it by 3 cents. Oh. So you can hit the bid. I just took that breakdown. I'm also in Lyft, but I feel like this almost feels a little bit better because of the tight risk to reward that you can apply here on a Rivian. So I actually have another offer here at 98. I got a 97 fill and I had a 98 order. I'll just leave it in there, see if it gets the fill on Rivian. Really 15 cents worth of risk, not that bad. I did end up taking that lift as well. Not that lift on anything other than the stock, so that's starting to break down. The futures are right on that level. The NASDAQ just chilling out at that 15.3. This is a 15-minute chart. My black chart on the NASDAQ is a 15-minute. So it'll take some time to resolve this 15.3 level. But if it is to the downside, I want some exposure to the south side on something that will at least have a chance of quadunking on these markets. I just didn't think NVIDIA was at the right spot. Even if it's a name I want to be short, I don't know, it seems like it wants a little bit higher here. You're not pulling back, you're stair-stepping to the upside. Let it get a couple of dollars higher and then make a decision on something like NVIDIA. There's one other name I wanted to get to. It wasn't a chip name, it wasn't Apple. No, it wasn't Microsoft. It was Google.
Yeah, Google was good today.
Google almost green on this. This is exactly following the NASDAQ percentage-wise. So it's kind of that one. The 129 bottom on Alphabet, if there's a fail in terms of missing like a wick bottom or a bottom buy, I don't know if there was a better one than Google. Like a name like Alphabet, getting a 129 on the dime, putting in the biggest volume candle other than the open, and then stair-stepping to the upside, that's about as good as it's going to get. I don't know of any big cap name that was as obvious in terms of a level than Google, but if you pop up what just happened, I love this recovery in Alphabet, and I had it in this morning, and I had to cancel it, obviously. I said I was taking the afternoon, I'd take a 132 break the next day. I had it in case it went up. Google did not break, obviously it didn't break up, the market went down. But hey, we're at 131. I'm not thinking fade at 132. If this market wants to go green, I'm breaking out long on Google at 132. To me, this almost looks better if it takes out the top after this V-shaped bottom. So it's $1 away from it, but this is one that is still on the radar. This will be a couple of days in a row that I'm looking for it. And I'll be looking for it tomorrow. I'll be looking for it on Friday because I feel as if this one, it's still trying to press the highs in Alphabet. Its valuation is still very reasonable. And if this market shakes off this dip, it's the next big tech name that is primed for an actual major run here. So that starts with a 132 break, and then you worry about whether it takes out that 134 top after that. Maybe it happens today. Either way, my stop order long is going to go in. Once it's above 131, then I'll have my stop order to break out long. There's no need for it now at 130.80, wherever we're trading.
Okay, so the most, just real quick right there. AMD fell off those levels. So we talked about only having 20% left. So now we only have 10% left as we get some out at the 50 period as it continues to fall down. We also do have an update here, whoopsies, on our, whoopsies because I clicked on the wrong stock. Roblox trade, there it is. All right, so there's that fill, man. I mean, we got a 15 fill just 5 minutes ago or 10 minutes ago, and then we just took right now a 27. So far so good here. Let's see where it goes. Now, hopefully to the upside, we can short some more if it gets anywhere near 30, but now we're gonna wait to see where that one goes right now for Roblox. Just holding on to that short and looking for a little bit more. I know Neil's talking about if it goes to 132. I was actually just looking right now at the market and thinking that 131 right there, that's 131.11. So you're trying to take down VWAP. I think if you could do that, then you could probably use this 131.11 sort of as the top right now, and then trade that accordingly, maybe. So that could be a trade there if you wanted that for the top. But what I was gonna get at here was Apple. I'm not, here's a 5-minute chart. Look at this. There's not even, look at how amazing this looks. Since 12 o'clock, you have 4 red candles on a 5-minute chart. We talked about Apple yesterday, it being strong. What's going on with it? Into the afternoon. Boom goes the dynamite. We tried shorting Apple there. It might have to wait to 180, but yesterday we stood in front of that 180 level and it was just back and forth until eventually those imbalances came out where we went to the downside. So for right now, Apple just continues to march higher, straight up, basically no pullback. Of course, your boy is here. So we reloaded this at VWAP. It just didn't give us anything. So small cup of coffee here on Apple, but a red name for me. We kept on trying to reload this thing at VWAP. It broke and then just kept on going to the high side right now. It is trying to, so this is finally, you barcode a little bit there. Looks like we're trying to barcode now. That's a nice little wick up there to 179.60. This could be the short right now. Yeah, 179, yeah, okay. This might be worth it now on Apple. So I could see myself doing something here on Apple into that short, but that's still, I don't know. It's so strong, man. Apple's almost positive on the day. This isn't a horrible position there for anybody looking to short something. Maybe Apple, but I feel like Google,
Google feels strong.
No, it is strong. It's just, I just called it about going short there at 130.90 and then it's 11 cents lower now. So yeah, let's watch out for Google here. I don't mind shorting this one at these levels, guys.
So, I mean, Google, you're right. Apple actually is up more than Google. It It's interesting. Like both those look pretty strong. I have a weird wick on Apple. It's up to 179.80. I'm assuming that didn't happen. Let me look at your e-signal chart.
No.
Okay, yeah. So this never happened because my first look was if this just happened on Apple, that looked like a big rejection of the local break. But that's a bad wick. I can clean that one up. So you are still unabrided to the upside on Apple. Yeah, that's not one worth fighting. I don't think. Like the 180 would have to come into play. Oh, I'll get to this PTRA. I haven't really mentioned it, but I am planning on hitting the bid. You can see what's going on in this stock. The one being deleted tomorrow. So I've just taken this short, and if this breaks, I want to add on a 15 break. You can see the flat bottom in here. So if it does what it did yesterday, late. I'm not saying it's going to do this. Again, this is just a lot of trading can be pattern recognition. If the same thing happens, that's great. But this was at 20 cents at the bottom from about 240 all the way till, right at the close, like 330 something, and then it flushed 20% in just a matter of minutes. And look, the barcode's been even longer today, so if it breaks 15, I do want to take it and add to that one on the break. We'll see if it happens. If it never breaks it, I'm just sitting in it on 16 short. WE is finding a bit of a bid at 1250. Rivian still holding forward. It's kind of sliding down a little bit here. Once it goes, why can't I zoom in? There we go. Once it gets into here, into the 80s, I'll take a leg out. Then same thing, 70s, 60s, on the way to the low of the day. But it was holding 23 with a barcode in here. So take the breakdown, give it a tight stop to the high, and then work it to the bottom. And that way, if the market reverses, I've got something that I think can get to the lows. So that's what I like about that Rivian trade. Plug, that was the other name. And we talked about that on maybe a higher time frame, but it is still trying to go. I felt like if higher low, if it could break back out. Yeah, maybe nothing. The volume's kind of nothing there. I saw a volume spike on it. But you know how you can tell if a volume spike is fugazi? Like the reason I know that this is probably, I saw it and was like, oh, this could be interesting. But the stock does not move. If you have the biggest volume candle all day long since the open at this time of day, and the stock does not move at all, there's a very good chance that it doesn't mean anything. So sometimes it alerts you to look at the stock, and there's really nothing happening. If it were to break back out 1080, maybe the volume comes in, and I do like Plug. But that's a fake volume candle if I've ever seen one. A little intense behind us there, eh? Like
they just put more into trading, and what are they golfing?
No,
over
so one of the floor managers made up a golf game. He calls it clutch putts, and then these guys when they're taking time, they go and they play clutch putts. Which, by the way, they have a whole leaderboard and everything. Despite the fact that he's busy trading, doing the midday show, he plays one game, and you know who's the leader? It's Obi. He plays one time, takes down the champ, and then he's literally the top guy there, apparently. I played once and lost. I'm not a very good golfer, so I don't dwell on it too much. I'm a terrible golfer, actually. I shouldn't even say I'm not very good. I actually really suck at golf. But hey, it's one of those things you got to practice.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, just trying to do our best here to organize a couple trades. So, all right, so let's just continue to do that then. All right, okay, so we did short Google. I did want to talk, what was it? AMD's on the way back up. Okay, so we're into Google right now. I'm going to be talking about, I believe Plug reports tonight, right? So that was a name that I had on my radar to talk about after market. So let's just go here just to double check to make sure that I'm speaking properly. Post-market the 9th. So we're going to be talking about Plug Power tonight on the after show. So get ready for that one. Plug Power coming to a show near you. All right, so here's Google. We're short right now at 80. That's kind of where VWAP is. We're going to watch out for that one coming back in. We're going to go against that 131.10. The only problem here is that obviously understood what this market is trying to do right now. It looks like it's trying to go the other way a little bit. So let's just watch out. The NASDAQ just held the 50 period again. It's finally, it got above it right there. That's the disappointing thing about Roblox because we were trying to get that long off 30. Look, the short printed. Hallelujah for that one. But, now the market is withstanding some of these dump-offs. But look at this. I'm looking at a longer time frame here. This is a 30-minute chart on the NASDAQ. I don't even look at the ES on the NASDAQ right here. And you're just still trying to break above this little wick high there, 15,310. So we're getting close to that again right now. It's 15,290, but that little high right there kind of takes out some levels. Then you can get back up to 15.4. So it still needs to dance around a little bit. That's where we closed the VWAP yesterday, opened up here. So right now we're trying to get above that little wick high of 15,305. So if we do that, then we change up the game plan a little bit and see if we can get going, right? And so we've already wicked that high. It needs to get above there. And then if you're really going to hold on to some shorts, you have this 15,350 right there on the S&P, on the NASDAQ 100. That's when I'll probably, if the market can get up to there, I'll flip over into TQQs and then short the market, because I don't think that we break above this 15,350. So if we can get above there, look, it's only 75 handles the other way today. We had a 400 handle range, and the handle is just one mark. So one point, I guess, on that NASDAQ. So that's what I mean by a handle. NASDAQ will move a little more, obviously, than the ES, when the ES is at 40, what are we at today?
45.
Yeah, we dumped down to 45, yeah. So, well, actually, the ES is almost positive right now today, only down 0.11. And of course, we've been pounding the table a little bit, not pounding it, but talking about oil for a while. And you can see the CL contract today nicely up, but now you're closed over there on NYMEX. So you're gonna have to look over here in Chicago anyways, not NYMEX, but there's a CL sign right now. Nice move up, man, 67, almost in a straight line to 84. And then today, closing above 9-month highs of, did we close above? Yes, we did. So that goes all the way back to December. That's the recent high rate there of 83.40. It looks like we close above that now at 84.30, so not even close, well above and taking out December highs. So there goes oil straight up to the upside. So lots of good opportunities there. We've been talking, of course, about XLE and holding on to that one for a nice little winner. And by the way, there goes a nice move there. I'm glad we sort of talked ourselves into getting short on Google because now it's starting to print out a little bit for us. So let's hold that. Maybe the market does correct downside a little bit and we'll take out something on Google. Let's see if we can get 15 cents, and there it is right there. Ring the cash register. We're on fire here, since that first couple trades there on Roblox and on Twilio. But so far, so good here. Holding this now 20 cents in the money on Google. Congratulations if you took it.
Yeah, here comes that rollover. We're talking about that 15.3. There was a question, do we look at the SPX? I have the ES futures up, and there's a limit to how many charts you're going to have and what indicators you like. But if you're trading growth names and tech names, then you're probably following the cues a little bit more. That's just a preference. I'm sure, and you could maybe you just sit there watching oil futures because you trade energy names, or you're watching Bitcoin because you trade Riot and Mara. You have to find what works for you. Maybe you want to be looking at DXY. Sometimes I have volatility up myself. So there's lots of things that you can look at for indicators in the market. If we say the futures, generally speaking, Sean and I mean the NASDAQ. I'm pretty sure that's everybody. I think even Sharif uses the NASDAQ primarily, or maybe I could be wrong about that. He does look at the ES. But generally speaking, we're trading a lot of tech names, and that's why you want to lean towards it. Rivian got that first leg at 1-to-1, so we're going to register on that one. The market is trying to go back to the gates of hell. We tried to go green, but we are starting to roll over a little bit here. So we get the first 12-cent move. Going to get one down in here about 75s, and then I don't know if we rinse and repeat this. I want to see what the futures are doing. If we come back and retest that top, I don't know if it's a reload zone because the market could attempt to break out. So I don't think it's an obvious reload if we get a bounce from here. But the shorts were right to find something to come to the downside because we're going downside. Chef Joe, Rivian CEO RJ doesn't see a need to raise capital before the end of 2025. Rivian and Lucid aren't terribly capital. That's actually not their problem. And relative to the other names out there, relative to the other EV names which are struggling and are going to have to raise, like Nikola's going to have to, they're screwed. But they don't have to raise as much as everyone else is in that need. So capitalization isn't necessarily their problem, but production, that is the concern. Can you produce enough? With Lucid's case, can you get the demand in? So that's great. I also noticed, like, interestingly enough, they didn't really get the you-know-what bounce when they were on the other program, which usually you do. I guess that magic and mojo was done. I don't necessarily, for this short, it had more to do with look at it barcode. If it breaks down 23 to 23.10 for a half an hour, if it breaks a low, short the low, give to the high. the market's at a resistance level. I mean, that doesn't really matter fundamentally. I actually think the quarter wasn't that bad in the case of Rivian. It just didn't matter. It had been on a huge tear, and sometimes that's what it's more like. It came from 13 and doubled up. This is not last year. Like, it was at 13 at the end of June. At the end of June, it was a $13 stock. So the fact that it pulls back here, that's just sometimes reasonable given the move it had put in. Now, when you're squeezing, I was all over wanting this to continue to squeeze and all those names to go. But when they're going up like that, the reality is at some point they're going to come back into the downside. And it can be very violent. And we're seeing a little bit of that today.
All right, we just covered Google went to 50. So, I mean, I'm glad we kind of broke that trade down for you and talked about why we like that one. There goes Google, nice little downside move there. We take that 30 cents. We're going to hold it for more. I mean, if the NASDAQ, again, it's the same talk. I mean, I'm just going to keep doing the same stuff, man. Look at that. There it is right there. We should have, like I said, I feel like someone said the other day that if I just traded options the way I'm trading stock, it would be a completely different story. And I feel, honestly, I just don't want to revamp myself too much. But trading the futures is probably, what I should be doing, because that's, like, I shorted Google. I look at the futures all the time, and then I try to find a stock that I think agrees with it a little bit. And that would have been a great level right there for the NASDAQ, coming right back in off of the open high. Like, there's the first. Forget about it. I know Dan Emmons, if you're on with us right now, he talks about this, but there's the move down for the NASDAQ. Then we kind of made this, open sort of high level right there. And I'm not quoting Dan, he doesn't mean this exactly, but we just come back into a range right there and then fell in. Now it's only a 30 handle move down. So it's not like it's a huge move down there, but that would have been good. And you make a lot more money on 30 handles. I mean, again, depends on the share size, so you trade whatever you're comfortable with, but that's a good move there for Google, and it just sort of coincided with a very, very similar level there on Google, that 131 right there, 131.11. So we took that with a little bit against us possible, and then when it fell down, of course, we're going to take that. So we're short at 80, we're going to get out at 11. That's only 30 cents, so that's the 1-to-1 right there. But when this market is happening like this, I'm not always looking for 1-to-1 risk to reward ratios. This is not. The market could not move right now into the whole close. So you want to definitely reward yourself with some kind of a profit take there, and we'll wait for that to happen. Hopefully more profits coming there. Look what's just happening. So the same talk again. Look what's happening with Twilio. I just put a stop order in right there to get out if we breach that level of 59.85. Doesn't look like that's happening, and it's trying to go right back up to the upside. So we got another Dollar Club member right here. So let's just continue to watch out to see what happens. We've already lost on Twilio today, but we're making some back on this move back up to the upside to 60.40. So good level. I feel like we'll take some out. Let me just double check to see if we have any orders. We don't want to get too carried away. I have another order at 59.03. That never filled, so we got one fill there. We were waiting for another one lower, didn't get it. Wish we had, and we'd have a lot more shares, but there's another bounce. So let's take advantage of this. Put a little order out, see if we get filled on Twilio. Hopefully that will pay out for us. AMD did bounce off 111 basically and right back up to this level. So if the market wants to keep going, we do have a nice little area. Oh, there we go. We just got filled on Twilio. So that's good, man. That's $1.14 right there on Twilio. So we'll go a little bit of diamond hands. We've been holding this since 11:30. So good trade there. Not happy though, man. We didn't trade these earnings the greatest today. In too early. Let it get all the way to the maximum, and then got stopped out right there. So that sucks. But anyways, we'll be better. We'll be better tomorrow, I promise.
Part of the issue is like there were so many squeeze names. I don't know if Twilio's a squeeze name, but Palantir, Upstart.
Yeah.
There were so many of them, and I felt like it was almost like overload because there were so many setups happening, and like you just see. Sometimes you get that muscle memory. It's like, okay, I know this trade, SSR bounce. Here's a level off, wick bottom. It's just like bang bang. In and out. I'm like, oh, I did one, did another, and it's like, okay, well that one, even if it's a small hit, it's like another one, back and forth. So it is easy to fall into that rhythm, and then you lose the bigger picture what the overall market is doing because you're making these specific trades. I know that's what I felt like this morning, and then when things calmed down and slowed down, everything was a little bit more interesting. Not interesting, that's not the word. It was a lot easier to navigate once it wasn't like one. It was just, okay, we'll focus on one thing. I'm out of Alibaba. That little market rollover trailed me out, which is always a possibility. Sometimes the Chinese ADRs don't really care what the market's doing. I was hoping that would be the case, but I'm trailed out of Alibaba. You got to take profit. I'll be happy about this because it's one of the few names that was able to get to plan, and thankfully the market wanted to sell it down into that 94. So we'll take the buck on that trade and get out. I do think there's some potential that this move could really start to accelerate to the downside, just given what I'm sort of seeing in the overall market. There was a halt, SNMP, so I'm just going to bring it to you. I'm not necessarily suggesting anybody trade this because what is the name of this company? This is from last week, Evolve Transition Infrastructure. I remember this one from last week. It has done 200,000 shares worth of volume. So I know it can be exciting when you see something at 10%, big mover, it's a halt, so there's volatility, it might go. Yeah, I remember this one from last week. But there is not, I don't expect there's a lot of liquidity on this, and it has been sort of slowly dumping the last few days. Maybe the volume picks up when it reopens. It is a volatility halt, but at 200,000 shares on a $5 stock, I'm anticipating that the spread is going to be rather, what's the word? It'll be spready.
Spready?
Yeah, and you don't want to get caught with that. When you're trading a $5 name, and I think it's open back up now.
Okay, good.
Yeah, like it's a 10-cent spread opening back up, and it's creeping on almost no volume. It is very difficult to scale strategy. And Max and I were talking about this. If you could never possibly scale something like that, you just open a 20-cent spread. I wouldn't touch it personally, but just wanted to bring it to you. There was a halt. I saw people talking about it. Go back over to some things that are actually moving. I don't mind trading halt names and runners of that grade, but there's always a level of liquidity that is way too low to make it reasonable for a day trader. And that's a pretty good example of it on SNPM.
You know, it's funny because today, like AMD, Apple, Amazon, now we just absolutely put some sirens up here on Google for the short. It's like we read these big cap tech names almost to a T every single day, and it's like we just got to stick with what we're doing. Today, my 3 losing stocks, Roblox, Rivian, and Twilio. Yesterday, 1 losing stock, Lucid. Okay, and it's just like, what is the common factor here? It's like I need a trading psychologist to like just beat me over the head. I tell it to my wife if she's ever watching. Like, got to stick with what I'm trading and make sure that you stay with what's appropriate for your strategies and what you're used to trading. I don't mind trading earnings plays. I think you got to practice them and get a little bit better at it. That's why I'm trying to look at like, hey, was there a barcoding opportunity? Where did we go wrong? And it's just funny because now that things have settled down and I've been able to chart read, and not got caught up like in all of this, looking for levels. What am I doing? Right? Like we had the long there and got out. Like it was fine. Like we went long there at 30, got out there at 31. Like everything's fine. But then it just dropped back in. Then we went short again, in and out, and then we finally got the long, got some out there. Then when it broke, so it's like when this is happening and we can actually start to understand it, then we're able to literally do really well. But it's just during that first little sort of chaotic moments, and the same thing here with what's happening on Twilio, right? I mean, we've already reviewed this, but here it is, man, falling back down. Where are the levels? Like maybe I just should be getting out at the pre-market bottom. Maybe that's something that we got to adjust it to. So that's why to be a successful trader, and I had 12 and a half years of no negative months, you have to continue to review your stuff and make sure that you understand what strategies are working today, what strategies possibly could work tomorrow. Go for it, but don't shut yourself down or don't do anything too crazy. You have to be a risk manager. That is the #1 job as a day trader. Anybody can sit here and hit keys. We've seen thousands of guys behind us hit keys. There's 10 people behind us now. What happened to the 990, right? So you got to be able to sit there, focus, make sure that you're trading your strategy and taking the risks when they're appropriate, because you'll get shut down and you'll run out of money, and then you'll wonder what's your next play, right? And so that's something to be very, very important. Understand risk management and understand what's working for you and what's not working for you. So like we'll talk about Disney tomorrow because that's going to be a big earnings report coming through here tonight. I'm excited for this name. I feel like I'm going to trade this earnings report a hell of a lot different because I have some key levels down here that we want to look at. So let's wait to see what happens with Disney tomorrow, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to be on this name tomorrow. We're going to be on it in the after show, which is now an hour away before they release those report, and we're going to see what happens. Good talk about Penn, DraftKings. We told them to do that move. They didn't. And now you're going to see what happens tonight with Disney. Good talk about Hulu, I'm hoping, and some good talk about ESPN and ABC. And then we'll see what they're going to talk about with streaming. Hopefully, I mean, they can't predict when the writers are coming back or when the actors are going to come back.
I've heard you could be. I was listening to.
Yeah.
I was listening
What have you heard?
experts talking about this. Not like I don't have any inside information. I forget what program I was listening to. It was like some. It was on YouTube, and it was a couple of people that seemed to know what they were talking about, and they were saying this could extend really into the fall, and that, of course, everyone talks about the most insulated being Netflix from all of this, which is just another thing that Netflix seems to have over everybody. For Disney, I don't really have anything that I love to the downside on Disney, given where it's at on the weekly.
Yeah.
Like, because you're at that you're pretty close to that $80 pandemic bottom. Like, I just feel as if almost a lot of the selling and consolidating into that level, maybe a flat bottom breaks. I'm not really imagining that. I'm just looking at this on the daily chart. You've got the 50 period right here, which it's trying to hold on to today, and the 90 breakout. And then through that, there's like 90 and 91 that if it holds that low, you could be breaking that out. And forget about 85. I mean, this is more of a swing kind of thing. Like, forget about 85. You got the pandemic bottom as a potential out there, and then room possibly to the upside. So I'd like to see how the report goes, but I'm kind of thinking it's really setting up that it's forming a bottom. If it ends up breaking down, there's a decent chance I do nothing with the stock. I'm kind of prepared for that. I wanted to point out that Moderna is having a good day today. This one, if the volume was better, I'd be saying, why not break this out at 103? But I pulled up the level 2, and I'm not even seeing a print, so breakouts when there isn't volume is not necessarily the best way to go, but that looks really juicy to fill in a bit of the gap on that 15-minute. If the volume can pick back up, this seems like it could be a potential for a breakout, so I do want to go over to that. If I see that tick up a little bit, I'm going to put a window on it. A little bit of a consolidation happening on Rivian. There we go. Consolidation happening on Rivian. It bounced off the 80s, took another leg out there when it threatened that 90s again, and now looks like it's coming back into the downside. So it looks like it's okay, but did take a little bit off there on that RIVN position. I want to get some more out in the 70s if we can. Palantir for short, Derek says. I haven't looked at. It's not bad. Where are we at in the 15? Oh, that's a nice hump there. Rollover, I should say, that 1560. I don't like chasing something. Like, that's what, like, it's a consolidation for a while and then break down. That's what the Rivian trade was. That's the same kind of notion here in Palantir, and then you could be 1550 short, and that's given about the same thing, like about 20 cents, 15, 20 cents in the money, and you're just looking for a continued breakdown. The market is giving it up right here, so entering into the shorts here has made sense. I just feel like that's the trade that just happened. That's what we were taking with the Rivian trade.
Come on, Sean, trade futures, man. We talked about that. Okay, nice move to the downside right now, but we're not going to be frustrated because we just got this. Money. That's going to be a good trade there for Google, man. I mean, I just hope that you guys have this. We're short at 80. It's now 60 cents in the money. We have this pullback completely today, so that's going to be a good trade, man. It's in the blotter. There it is right now. It's ready to go, and it is a good one here for Google. So I'm just going to wait a little bit lower. We just covered some at the 200 period, and here we go back down in. So, hey, man, whatever's good is good. And right now, Google be good to the downside. So here we go, breaking lower. We're bidding 14s. That's hilarious that we're bidding 14 for some reason. It stops. It's going to stop. It ain't going to stop right now. So there you go, smoking right now. CGC Canopy earnings later on tonight. So roll up one for that and join us at the after show right there. Look at Roblox.
Oh my God.
We were.
I'm reloaded.
Okay. Just really happy that we're able to put on for you guys here today, AMD, put on for you Google, put on this Roblox trade for you all live right now. Talk about this Twilio a little bit. It's all working out. So far so good here in the afternoon show. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure that you do hit the like and the subscribe for sure. We haven't had much cat today, so let's do this.
Hola, like and subscribe today.
Yeah, make sure you hit that like and the subscribe because we got some more good content coming for you every single day. What's up, Tony Price? Yo, what's up, Don Cherry? I like that name there, Dawn Cherry. That's hilarious.
The legend.
The legend. But I think this would be a female here, but Dawn
it's
Cherry.
Dawn, D-A-W.
Yeah, that's why I think it's
fine.
funny. That's why
it's
I think it's
cool.
funny.
Cool.
What's up there? Thank you so much. Yeah, you lost 1K from Twilio. Yeah. Twilio was tough today, and we talked about that. Ola to Cat, Ola to Streamlabs. What's up to Dan? Hey, how's it going, my guy? Right there. Saved by Grace. Shout out to you as well, and shout out to everybody. Hey, what's up to Ishan right there? Kumar, Michael, Curtis, everybody that's there. What's up to Keon? Trade the Qs. more often, and I'm handsome. Gee golly, thank you so much for that. We are such a great combo. God, these two are such a great combo. What, us, me and God, or me and Neil? We're just joking around there. Thank you so much. What's up to JB? Thank you. Neil and Sean are the best. Thank you, Don Cherry, for that. You had a good partner too.
I love Don Cherry.
Ron McLean. And Don Cherry. Shout out to everybody.
We can say that everybody misses that combo.
Yeah, Don Cherry lost his way at the end, of course.
I know, like, it ended poorly, obviously, but there's no question like that. For a long time, it was absolutely legendary of a combo. I want to shout out Sanity's Eclipse. My name represents how I invest. I like that. It's a creative one. Shout out to everyone in the chat. I forgot to mention, of course, I had a second short in there, and I want to get to something else in a second. But Lyft just hit the bottom, so I did take a leg out there in front of 40s. But this SN, if you're ever curious about a halt, I know like that silly stock that I was talking about with no liquidity, just go back over to NASDAQ trade halts. It's halting every few minutes. And if it's anything other than a volatility halt, you'll see it. You'll see the code in there. It just keeps halting every 5 or 10 minutes. And it's a 5-minute halt or a 10-minute halt. And this will give you resumption time and all that good stuff. So SNMP is halting because there is no liquidity on this thing. It was 200,000 shares. It's now 350,000. And it just halted up again. So it's moving, and that's great. If it gets to $7, I think crazy things can happen. It was halted upside, came back in, and is now halted off a double top. But there is no liquidity, and that is why you are likely to see more and more halts. It's probably just going to keep going all day long. We do need a Ron Burgundy button. I'm a big fan of not all of those Will Ferrell films. I think there's some are better than others, but like Step Brothers was, that was pretty fantastic. And I'm a big fan of Talladega Nights. I'm all about movie references. I love those bad boys. I'll do it all day, every day. Reliable Rudy, it's all good. We're here to educate. I love showing people things so that they can learn something, because I remember when I found the halt page, and I have another thing that I look at, by the way. I actually use this for halts. I should probably show you guys. I don't always just flip over to the halt page. I actually have a halt alert on my trade ideas. So when something halts, like I see it like pretty much right away on the NASDAQ in New York, and I want to know if something is moving enough that it causes a volatility halt, and then you can make a decision whether or not you want to trade it. Because not everything is going to set up for you or be good to trade. But I do like things like Siri the other day, or maybe I guess it was like 2 weeks ago. Sometimes they provide you with really good opportunities, and so have an alert set out, have something like this, have alerts for high-of-the-day breakouts and all that kind of good stuff. I like to look at halts because it's indicating that something is happening on the stock. That is all I care about, is something happening on the stock, and then I can get on over to it. Every now and then it's just a breakdown. Like we said with Rivian, I don't have another bid out here. Let's throw it. You know what? I'm not going to bid at this point. We're really rolling over. There's no point bidding down here. Let's kind of let this one ride, allow it to fall, see how far it's going to go. You just had a bit of a bigger candle and a lot of weakness. The bid's dropping out on Rivian. I think this one can work into the end of the day. Just alert to the low. It is going SSR if it breaks this bottom. If we break the low of the day on Rivian, it will be short sell restricted. I would expect there's a decent chance of a bounce here, even going into power hour. But for now, ride the shorts. They look like they're pretty good. This PRTA, if it ain't moving, I want to get out of it, usually. But because the stock is being deleted, I will give it every opportunity to fall. It either breaks 16.5 or the market gets to like 355 on me. But I do plan on holding that one to the end. You might see, like, I'm not really talking about, but you might see me in that one after 350 because I'm thinking it's getting deleted off the market in the next couple of days. So I'm probably going to be sitting in that short.
I like it. I like it a lot. Right now, I just tweeted it out. You guys are going to have the opportunity, if you're looking for the link, it's right here right now. It wasn't live when I posted it before, but here it is right now, the after the close show. And we have a new segment. It's going to be every single day called Trade Talk. So we're going to have Trade Talk today with Michael Noss. So shout out to him right here, our CMT, looking for some good ideas. That's going to be coming through today. So join us tonight for that. Thanks to Ramin and Fabian for getting that going. That should be a good one. And watch out now. We did it again. There's Roblox, a 30-cent win. We took some out right here at 55. Let's see if it can fall back in. I'm now bidding some 30s. Another one reloaded back down into the downside right now. And I want to thank everybody who is watching the show one more time. Palantir today, little tricky as, again, day 2 play, but you see how we get out of the way? Like, this is the thing. Like, this is what I got to do better, man. I got to do better on getting out of the way on some of these names. And we just when there's an earnings play, I'm always thinking like, oh my God, the moon, or the ground. But there it is right there. We got that great fill, took the money out, then gave some back here as it kept falling back in. And then eventually we took down 1580, which was that bottom. And we used 1575 to get out, which was great because it did bounce all the way or go all the way down to 15 flat right now on Mr. Palantir. So that was a nice downside move. Kathy not in there today, but hopefully going to be in there soon. And if anybody has any hookups for Kathy Wood, I'm going to tweet at her. Maybe we can get her on the show as well. But so far, so good there. Palantir, nice little downside move. We just got filled on something. Oh, what? Was that Roblox again? Oh, I had a 50. Oh, we got part filled. That's why. Okay. So we just got a Roblox fill there at 57. I guess we only got part filled and the rest just filled up down there. So that was good. All right, Google, looking at that again. I'm still looking at this bottom here, 129.80. I'm going to put a bid there. Hopefully we can crack through 130 and get down to the downside. We called this move on the NASDAQ. So hopefully if you're trading futures, you might have this. I would say right now, just from chart reading again, 15,300 right there, pulling back in. Look where we're stopping, right where we were basically during lunchtime. So I feel like this is a good cover right now. Take your 100 handles or so on the NASDAQ, or depends. Let's just say you're short 15.3. Well, now you're in the money 60 handles. So I would think that that would be probably pretty good area. Definitely take something out at VWAP if it goes back up, but watch out for this. Could break lower, but you are at some pretty key levels so far on that one. So, all right, man. Plug Power coming through here. Disney also coming. We'll wait for second Q2 results, obviously, to come through on all of these names. So let's just check out what Disney's doing into the close. The company's second quarter results are May 2nd, May 10th. This is going to be Q3. Gap down 6% the following day. So we'll wait to see what Disney does today into that report. If they gap down 6% again, then you'll see this back down here, man. Give 10% on 87. You're down to that $80 level, which is going to be a problem because you don't even want to see it break 85 tomorrow, let alone some of those pandemic bottoms of 80. So we'll see if it has a 10% move. That will get 10% gets you to 80. But last earnings report, I was just in doing some prep for the closing show. It closed down 8.73% after its last report. So we'll wait to see if that can happen, and if it does, you know where Disney's heading, to that inevitable $80 level. So hopefully it doesn't come out as bad. We'll see what Mr. Iger has to say. I
think when you go back in the weekly, it has some wiggle room on that 80 because everything was so volatile in 2020 that when it was coming down there, I think it got underneath by like a buck or a buck and a half. But that is the notion of it getting back to that price when you've seen travel rebound so well, and you've seen Carnival and RCL and all the cruise lines have done so well. And man, for them to be down there, it speaks volumes of what's going on at that company. They're making some steps that make, they're trying to get into a cash business and make a little bit more of that coinage that they're losing with the gambling. I think that's probably a smart move for them. They need all the help they can get. If we barcode too much longer, I'm going to constantly get out whenever I see a barcode situation like this. I did add on a break of 13 of we, but now it's holding. I'm always going to give these a chance to give a 330 flush trade. I don't know where my data there we go. 330 style flush trade. This started going, and then today, of course, the whole we have going concern issues, all that nonsense. Ignore this. There's some dark pool printing that went up there, but there was a legitimate move to those 20s. I wish I could tell you I was short that. That would have been very, very nice, but it is what it is. Sometimes you get it, sometimes you don't. That Moderna, I don't know. Like I thought there was going to be a potential breakout for mRNA there, and we'd be able to have like a 103 double top consolidation break. It's now 320. I think I put that on the back burner. Maybe throw that one out. The volume hasn't picked up. The market's rolling over. I like the notion. I like the setup. The chart looks good. Everything about it on the 15 minutes okay. But in a falling market, you got to ride the shorts and accept the fact that a breakout might not happen. So Moderna, maybe tomorrow 103. Yeah, certainly worth filing away. Yesterday it was the same thing with Alibaba. You wanted some continuation of that move, and then today it bounced off that level on the way back. So hey, maybe Moderna gives a trade off this 103. I just kind of like the bottom it made. Like anytime a stock bottoms at $100, it kind of feels like, take a shot, right? And it bottomed at $100, put in a couple of higher lows, kind of a double bottom today through 100. And now you look for the breakout. I love that setup. It's just not happening today with this market rolling over. So stay short. Seems to be working. What do we got here? Lyft, that's okay right now, that Lyft trade. Lyft and Rivian were the two that I like for the rollover. That just tagged the actual low of the day here. It's got a lot more room to fall. It did go down to like 10% on Lyft as well. So it's short, went all the way down 10. This is a super bearish look for me on Lyft. Up on earnings, gives it all back. Then when the market's tanking, it rips faces off while the market's tanking. And then when the market catches a bid, it can't even move to the upside anymore. Like all the buying gone, so that just tells me, people got squoze, you're now breaking under the 50 period. This just feels like a short till like 950 on this stock. A very, very different company from Uber. Uber is like, people are gonna be buying the dip on Uber. But Lyft, I don't know what happens if this one gets under $10. It could get pretty ugly for them. Not much of a breakout. It looked like it was gonna break out. Now I'm just thinking short underneath 11 until it proves otherwise on this stock.
Yeah, market trying to bounce back up a little bit. All right, we did take out some Roblox. Oh, I took out some more there at 72 off of that recent short right there. So there's 71s actually. So that was a good fill there. I did want to talk about something and I can't remember what it is. Yeah, I do got to bring the water this time. I talked way too much. And I will look at the chat more. That was some good advice there yesterday. As I was just reading over all of the earnings yesterday, as it goes, we'll pay more attention to the chat on the close as well. And I want to thank Bears vs. Bulls, who's there going to help me out as well as Brendan was feeding me a little bit yesterday, some of the reports as well. But okay. Oh yeah, it was okay. I mean, I was gonna look at AMD a little bit. That could have been a nice little buy down there on that level. Roblox is trying to make a move back up to 30. I feel like we'll take a short one more time right here. I was waiting at 98. Did we just get filled there? No, we did not. It stopped at 97. What a surprise. But it is starting to get back upside now. We'll watch out for this on a 30 break. If it comes in, again, took it 50 period. Whenever you retrace back down to 50 period moving averages, there's a reason why they're there. I mean, that's why I have them there, right? We've done work with those, and that's been something that we've looked at. So there's a nice little move, and not only that, it coincided with 50 cents period on that one as well. All right. Darn it, I want to talk about something else, now I forget what it was. Oh, that's what it was. I know what it was. What's up to Beat Fanatic there in the chat? You want to look at Nikola. That's exactly what it was. So there's Nikola today. This is another name here. Look where VWAP is. It's at $2 flat. So that's a short over and over and over again. You probably got to pay for it. So if you're ever looking to pay for shorts, probably Nikola is exactly that name. But right there off $2. Nice move to the downside. You don't need many penny movement to get your day there. So that's 11% off of a very clean break right off the open there, down through 220, broke those levels. What did it look like yesterday for Nikola? Again, not really a name that I've traded very much, but there it is right there. So that bottom from yesterday, as soon as that broke, I guess at 215, not the time, but the price, then you had a nice move all the way down and stopping at 190. I don't think there's going to be juice, Beat Fanatic, in this name for the rest of the day, but big move up to 360, huge move back in again. And this is the thing, when you're just getting squeezed up, you got to understand that that's what's happening. Not every name's going to go like Carvana. And sometimes you're going to have to just be careful with shares outstanding. Nikola has a lot. I mean, so does Carvana. But, just understand where we're going and why. And I just go back all the way here, back to December. Roblox just took out 30. So we got out of that last little bit of that short there. But right there, this $2 goes all the way back here to December. So that we could bounce here. We could not. Either way, you're at that 50 period of 180. So
it gets worse.
I would just watch out for this.
On their earnings, they said they're going to need to raise.
Yeah.
So they've said they're going to need to raise. And we talked about it this morning. Like, there's so many things to look at and for earnings and kind of stick to your lane. So I'm going to slap a fail on myself because Nikola was consistently my best trade last week and it was just shorting the stock after earnings. And today, while I'm looking at everything else, Nikola just gave another leg down that you could just be sitting in it. It breaks down, gives you 10%, and you could be sitting in it off of 2 as well. It's a great level. So, you stick to what was working, and that was like how many red days in a row? The trend is your friend. Just keep doing it. Do it and do it and do it again. Good song. That PTRA, I added to it because I said it would. And it broke that 15. Very long barcode on this stock, but it finally broke. Eventually it broke 15. I doubled up. underneath here, so I'm still shorted. I've had bids all the way down to 12.5 since about 11 o'clock, but I've been waiting for this. Who knows? It could come out at 350 and stop me up because it's a buy imbalance or something like that, but if it does flush, I am prepared for it. The market did just bounce a little bit, so we got 50 points on the NASDAQ to the downside, which is not necessarily enough for everything to get back to the lows. Rivian did this on the way back up. I don't need this getting back above like 22.90, still holding a piece of it. Same thing with Lyft. Lyft wasn't quite as good. The problem with Lyft is it was at the low of the day where it's bouncing. I'm not going to put that breakout, no matter what, I will not be putting a breakout trade on Moderna. Even if it's breaking now, it's too late in the day for that. Going to manage the short positions. WeWork has been fine, so I think I'm good with that. And the other penny stock should be good. And look out for that. Look, I know that SNMP, like I've seen, wow, SNMP, go SNMP. I get it. It was continuously moving to the upside. It just pulled back 17% in one 3-minute candle. And that's with almost no liquidity. Like if you want 1,000 shares, there's one order on the bid that you can get. Like this is what I mean by a lack of liquidity on the stock. And you can make money on these. I know people do. It's just, I find you got to be really specific, and more liquidity is a good start, but there's not a lot. Look at the spread. Look at what you're getting into. If you can find a strategy that works for you, go for it, but that's a little bit outside of that zone. I'm surprised it didn't just halt down there, so I guess it must have bounced off of, it looks to me like it probably just bounced off the bottom halt band because it just moved 10% down and caught a bit of a bid. So if you trade off things like that and you can find risk to reward, good for you. It's already halted like a ridiculous amount of times here today. Will be no trade for myself on it. Apple is starting to make a bounce back up. I don't know if I like that this close to the imbalances. And look out for you. Lucid, this is the second time Lucid has been relatively strong. And it's holding that 7 level. I was thinking about 7 for the break and then I didn't like the trade at the open. I was way too much thinking dip buys on stocks, but it broke 7 right at the open and went to 730, then gave it up without any hoopla. This is now holding the 50 period again, gonna close near the high of the day. This is setting up for a breakout long. It's 41% short, Lucid. Let me just double check to make sure that's right. Lucid is still 41% short.
Something like that, unless it changed yesterday, but I don't know.
41% short float, made a double bottom, went higher on bad earnings, and could be consolidation breaking tomorrow at 7:30. That's not a bad setup. I'm writing down Lucid right now. Lucid, $7.30 break, which means it's going to gap up to like 770, and that's where it's going to be at the open, and we won't be able to take that trade. However, maybe you get the dip buy. Either way, I like that long for potential squeeze play. 41% short float, and it has done absolutely nothing. If this gets going, there's a lot of upside here, and I'm not talking about fundamentals. I'm just talking about the nature of a squeeze.
All right, what's up to Mark Knight here? We are short back into Roblox right now. We just shorted 09s. It did go about 10 or so pennies in the money, but we're going to get it at $30.15 for the break. Someone just asked in the chat, do we think about Roblox as a possible long? I always say give it 3 days. So that's something that I've talked about since we started the show. So I'd say give it a couple days, let it sort of settle down. If it bumps up tomorrow, I mean, how far is it going to go? 32, 33 bucks maybe, which would be great. I mean, you take 10%, but I still feel like there is risk to that, right? So let's wait to see where, if it still hovers around 30 bucks tomorrow, you can probably get the stock as it opens and then just trade it off that. So that's probably the better decision for me to give to somebody. But what's up to Mark Knight? Thank you so much, man. You're awesome. I know you're saying thanks to Dang, Sean, thank you, Bang, everything in there for the awesome Google trade. I mean, I'm going to try to keep them coming, but thank you so much for being a member for 11 months. I mean, that's amazing. So thank you so much for that. Anyone who can be a member on our show, it's $5 a month. So just support the show. And that's what we're doing on that. You get little emojis and things. If you want to be part of our chat, you got to hit the subscribe button, and then you can get going. We are minutes away.
You're not going to believe this.
1 minute away from the early look. What am I not going to believe?
No, yellow does nothing, and then right about 3:30 it pops and it halted up again.
Yeah, maybe there's more news about that.
This is hilarious. They did this like 4 times last week, and
I gotta get some water.
I don't know if there's any news, but it is halted to the upside. So congratulations if you've been buying this thing in front of 3:30 for the last few days, because for whatever reason it just keeps on doing this pattern, and I don't do it. Larry Wanta wanted me to do this, So if Larry Wanta said, show your T2 paper hands, I will show you my T2 paper hands. I was in the breakout originally, which is a better trade than the dip buy. Weird, because I usually prefer dip buys on this. But I had the 35 break with the 36 add, cover the 36 for a scalp trade, put my stop at the break even for the 35, and break even there. So I was up at that point because it was a good long initially, and then we managed to get out when it was good at the right price. But then I was twice in and out here off the 34, not giving it much room. And that's just how it is sometimes. Like, I'm taking my outs there, and that's the actual bottom over and over again. That's how it is. Sometimes you just got to take the L and move on. That's what it was for me in TTOO, and you got to be able to live with it. I was asked, I'm going to go to Brendan in a quick second, but someone had asked me what I meant by the spread. So the spread is just the difference between the bid and the ask, right? So if I want to buy shares of SNMP, I can wait on the bid and hope to get filled at 640, or I can make a bid higher at 42 or 43, or I can offer shares here at the best price. But if I want to get shares right away, I have to buy 650, and if I wanted to get them out right away, I'd have to sell 640. So when you punch in, you're instantly out of the money 10 cents because you get long at 50, and the best available bid is 40. And really, if you take 1,000 shares, you might not get filled till 36, just based on how much liquidity is there on SNMP. So right there, if you punch 1,000 shares on this stock, you're instantly P&L out, unrealized, $100 because of the spread, and probably worse than that because there's not a lot of liquidity. That's what the spread is. So if you hear a trader talk about that, it is just the difference between the bid and the ask. Let's go to Brendan at the desk.
I was just checking on this yellow halt. At 2:15, there was a court document that was posted suggesting that the company has delayed its request to approve a $142.5 million bankruptcy loan. So that was 2:15. This is right now that this thing popped up and halted, but just be aware.
Okay, I mean, that's good to know that there was actual news. And I feel bad that I didn't just sit in that. It's because it's a weird thing to sit in that trade, but I'm not making this up. There was a trader, and this was years ago when Sean and I had our own trading floor. It was in just here in Toronto, and there was a trader who was completely convinced, and he would take this trade, that there was a GE buyer, I think it was at like 320, and that there was a buy program that would come in on GT at about 320, and he would go long the stock. And I don't remember exactly how it worked out. I don't think he lost money overall, but sometimes you look for patterns like that in the short term. I've seen it before. I've seen it in Brazil stocks, and you never know. It could just be a weird algo. But Brendan, some more news there?
Yeah, more now. Lawyers saying that Yellow received multiple alternative bankruptcy financing proposals, and they are evaluating these offers. So that also just popping up, guys.
Yeah, I mean, they're not a small operation. They're a pretty big operation, so it could make sense if someone wants to step in there. I was going to reload on Lyft, but I'm kind of thinking it is a sell imbalance. The early look is a $700 million sell imbalance, so that would favor the shorts. Yeah, I want to try and get it reloaded here. So I just saw that, and then you got this little wick. It failed at 1050 again on Lyft. So if I can grab it, Lyft is SSR. It did touch 10%, so you can't hit the bid. You can cross down. I can offer midpoints. I can sit on the offer, but I need an uptick to come pick me up, and that's sort of one of the downsides to shorting when the market's coming in. Like, you can short a hump and try to get in on the way down, but if a stock's SSR, then good luck with that. You're going to need some help in the form of an uptick, and you don't always get it. We have the ability to sit on multiple gateways here at Day Trade the World, so sometimes if it's an SSR stock, I like sitting on a midpoint and then trying to get that fill in there. So I just got that add right back in on Lyft on this curl, and if the market decides we want to make another leg down, there's your consolidation. If we do push, plenty of room to the low, 51.5. I don't think we get to 15.15 necessarily, but the sell imbalance of 700, if it comes out sell with a billion attached to it, that wouldn't be too bad for the shorts going into the end of the day.
All right, well, the market is giving the short in there. Still feel I should have traded the futures there. But, remember we were talking about it, Apple v. Google there, and I showed you the chart about how strong Apple's been for the last couple hours. It's basically going to be the exact same trade because we were talking about shorting Apple here at 179.50, and we even, drew it back through. Oops. We even drew it back through here, talked about this area, 179.50, giving us that move back to the downside. And then that would have been I'm already losing my voice, which is bad. 179.60 down there to 178.80. So that's about 80 cents to the downside. Our current Google position right now is 65 cents in the money. So, you know, all in all, that's 80 cents right there, and the Apple trade is 80 cents as well. So, you know, feel pretty good about the one that we wound up choosing, and we'll just wait to see what it does now. Look, I have Twilio out if it breaks this, 59.80. So if it breaks 59.80, then we're going to get out of Twilio. We did really great to get out of that last little piece right there on the top side, 60.40. But for now, we're going to give that a little bit more room, see if it can work out. And then Roblox, the last position that we have right now, we went short, and there's the out at 30. We talked about that. That was really quick, man. That was a 28 fill, and then an out at 05 breaks. Like, that was 5 or 6 cents. Just didn't want this to happen. Then we started seeing that, hey, it's still barcoding up here at these highs, just where it was before right here. So then I was like, let's go short Roblox, hoping that this market would do this. But now, of course, it just wants to do this again, where Roblox was so funny because even during the midday show, it was like, I was like, what? It was going 93 up to 05, 93 to 05, and then we got to 10s there. And every time it got to there, I was like, okay, I got to get some out. And then all of a sudden it broke, and I was like, okay, here we go. So we wound up getting out of like 20% of it. Then we went long again, thinking, okay, we're going to play the range, has potential to break, right? But never did that, never broke. And then we averaged in, got out, flipped the short, and that's when it started to come in, because once it broke that level there, we flipped over to the short, then boom goes the dynamite, took 80 cents in. Now, I don't know if it's going to have 80 cents in it again right now, but here we go. Let's break yourself a little bit. We're short at 9s. I don't have a bid at O's? No, I do not. That's strange. Oh, I don't have a bid till 90s. All right, so let's see if that can come down. We have a little bit of size following, and I did see a chat there. I apologize, I didn't catch your name, but when you're looking at a level 2 like this, every single number that we see on here is called a board lot, and they would be 100 shares. So when you see, like right here on, for example, on New York book or whatever, NASDAQ book now, you see 5, that's 500 shares. But it could be 550, it could be 599, but it is not 600. So it's somewhere in there. And then what a lot of these dark pools do is, you know, they don't follow those same rules, so you can trade in between here, and that's why you get like 64 shares, 50 shares, and all these things that are printing kind of randomly. It doesn't mean that you can execute only 100 shares. You can punch these levels for 10 shares or bang, whatever your account can hold right now. There goes Roblox, right down to the downside right there. But what yes, let's go. What you're looking for is that for 100 shares. So thank you so much for asking that question. And of course, when I see green, I need to trade. So there it is. We'll take another bid here at 86s. There it is. Yes, sir. Good trade here. So there we go, man. What's up? We got another one.
Another one.
Google.
Another one.
Roblox.
Another one.
That's about it. And then we'll have to see what happens now, right back down into the 200 period. So again, well worth the risk reward on that. There goes Roblox. Good trade. Hope you have that with me as well.
Yeah, just to clarify something, I actually think for that question, Sean and I display it by board lots because we're old school, and I think that's what most traders usually do on their level 2. But I think a couple of the other guys have it with the actual. You can do actual share size. So
yeah.
Like you can set your level 2
to show zero.
To show zeros, and that will be actually 100 shares instead of the 1 for the board lot. So if you see other traders, I'm not sure if that's true of Max and Obi, but I've seen some other guys on the show do that. I just find it weird because I'm accustomed to looking at board lots. And so you do, like I have weird crap on my level 2. Like you can see the trailing zeros, and I'm not even trading a penny stock. It's because when I started trading, I was a penny stock trader, and I'm just used to seeing all these trailing zeros. And now even on a stock where you don't trade tenths of a cent, if I don't see it, I just can't, it's just weird to me. And so you do whatever's comfortable for you. Someone just said 880,000 shares sold on Tesla. I pull over, there is a big volume spike. I didn't see it, but this is what just happened. This is the volume spike. This was the attempt to get to 25, and it just pulled back to the downside. So I would say it looks as if, and I wasn't looking at stock at the time, it does look like there was a bit of a rejection and then a big seller coming into Tesla just now. With only 10 minutes to go till the imbalances come out, the market is reloading back in to said downside. This time I am going to get a bid down here. If Rivian retakes that low, respect it. I did try to roll back over at that 23. Got to reload on Lyft, but not on Rivian at that 23 level. This time I will not look the gift horse in the mouth and get out at this little bit of a low on this name. It's close to that 10% to the downside. We're going to go ahead and take it. As I said, I might be in those penny stocks until the close. It's just one of those different kind of strategies.
Okay, then. This just upsets me more because, yeah, again, we're doing exactly what we wanted to do here into the close, and we're just making back some of the bonehead trades that we made earlier. What's up, Chill Vibes, and everybody that's out there, man. Good job so far today for everybody, especially if you're following some of these trades here in the afternoon. I mean, they've been fantastic. And I keep looking at the chat, man, because I'm all about everybody. So if there's any trade ideas that anybody has here, let's go over and have a quick look at them. So a lot of people, I know you just talked about Tesla. Let's just have another quick look at that. All right, so it still needs to break, right? If it does break, the futures, that's a 100-handle move right there. All right, so back in this 243. Now you're only 10 minutes away. I'm going to do this for you because there's a lot of people that they wonder if we're live trading. I mean, we don't trade options. We don't trade CFDs or anything like that. We're actually trading the live equity here, and we're taking shares. So this is not positions that are hedged against options or anything like that. You know, we are responsible to exit these trades at the end of every single day. We're on a prop floor, so we trade in other people's money, which is good. And, you know, so we're taking risks, and we have to cash out by the time the market closes and or a little bit after 4 o'clock. But here we go. I just want to talk quickly because if you are in a name, what did we just get filled on? Oh, Roblox.
Oh my God.
Roblox. I mean, as I was getting some credit there for the Google trade, I mean, this Roblox right now is collapsing back down in. And this is what I'm talking about being a risk manager. And I've sort of lost my train of thought before. But, you know, when I'm taking a 7-cent hit, and then now taking 60-cent winners and still have half the position on, like this is what you're trying to do as a trader. And look, sometimes you got to be lucky, good to be lucky, lucky to be good, yada yada. You got to have your orders out to get fills and all of that. But there it goes, Roblox. That's what we're talking about. Let's put some of that damn money back in our pocket. Thank you so much for that, Roblox. I'm not going anywhere, Roblox. So you don't think I'm back tomorrow? You're going to be wrong on that. There it is, $87. Watching out for Disney here, coming into the report tonight. Last time down almost 8.7% at the end of that day. Let's see what Disney does here into the close. We're ready to rock and roll. I think it's a 405 number. I have them written down over there on the desk of when they're going to be coming out. So we'll wait for Disney. And it doesn't even matter what you have written down. They kind of just come out whenever. So we'll wait to see what does happen with Disney. There goes Roblox. Let's go now. 65 cents in the money. Everything's working out, man. Google's still 50 cents in there. What I want to do was, we always get talk about if we're delayed on the time. So I'm going to give it to you right now. We are in lovely Toronto, Ontario, Canada. And the time here currently, 3:43:08, 09, 10. So 3:43:12 right now. So if you look back down, I know there's a clock at our bottom, but if you're not live with us, then it doesn't matter. So I'm just reading to you what we're experiencing right now. 3:43:22. So refresh your feed if you're a little bit behind. I think, and you guys can put it in the chat where you're from and what your lag is like. But I think generally speaking, it's like 5 to 8 seconds if you're on the West Coast. And
if it's more than 10, just hit the live button and it'll just catch up for you. So if you find that you're way too far behind, just hit that, the live button on YouTube and it'll catch right back up. Or just make sure you're watching it real time, because that's the worst. Like we talk about the imbalances at 350 and you're delayed, it's kind of a problem because they can be big. And in 6 minutes, we're going to get those imbalances coming out. Hopefully nobody chased that yellow move. Yellow does a 330 bounce and does not hold on to it, because that's what happens. It halted up, opens back up. Brennan gave it to you that there wasn't anything different than the announcement yesterday. So why would it do anything? So it's right back into the lows. It's an ugly situation with them. And remember, this is a company that can still be going bankrupt ultimately. So it is a speculation play. That is what you're doing when you're going long or you're trading momentum. Very, very dangerous here, because at any moment, You could have this stock halting to the downside, and then that's it. And then the next time you look at it, it's on the OTC. I'm not saying that's going to happen here, but understand that that is part of the risk parameters that you're looking with. 430, so 345 here. I do have to continue to cover this nonsensical barcode. If I ever regret, it was not taking more of this, and I will not make that mistake tomorrow. I hope it pops tomorrow. It was a complete gift that WeWork decided to pop in the pre-market. If the same thing had happened after 9:30, it could have been a much different trade here. If it's got 20 cents, it had no business being there. I'm going to play that pop again. I will be in PTRA probably till 3, at least until 350, potential till 359. But WeWork, I'm just going to start getting out. I wanted it to make that last breakdown. It hasn't done so. Rivian, I just got that local bottom. So we rang the register for the last time. Don't want to look that gift horse in the mouth. At the end of the day, this was a flush. It was a mistake not to have reversed it when I stopped out of my long. It looks bad, but it gave you that consolidation work off that 23 and got into that higher low. Rivian down almost 10%. The list of names, that's one thing I want to find, where I can find a list of just SSR names. I think Brankles has one, where I can find a scanner for it. But the list of names that tagged 10% down today was insane. There was a lot of them. It was ridiculous. Ridiculous is the word. I don't think I've seen a day where there were that many names that I would trade or look at that were down 10%. So it was one of those types of days. You had to get out of the way of that, those moves to the downside, and try and find your way into some shorts, because that's what was paying off today. You rang the register if you went short, and if you found some long bounces that weren't energy, congratulations. Or Lululemon, by the way. I don't know if you looked at that chart.
I did not. Yeah, we'll take the congratulations. We had AMD on a nice little bounce back, but we're out of that now. So Google again, I don't even know. What haven't we hit in a while? Let's just do this one. It was a good idea. Let's leave it at that. We need to get some more. I think they're working on a few more right now. But this is Google's getting close to the dollar club. We could hit that, but it's not quite a dollar yet. But there it is, right there into the close. I feel like that was a good call there on Google. And by the way, Serenity now, Roblox. Almost a dollar again. So we have back-to-back dollar clubs here. Pretty soon, hopefully, Roblox will continue to fall down. Look at this, boom. You know, like a glove, it fits, man. Fits like a damn glove right now. Shout out to Lone Sophos, who said he's 105 seconds behind us because he's in Mars. So shout out to that. Let me know how that's going, because
That's not bad.
That's not bad at all. That's like a
impressive.
great, probably got some Starlink going on over there. So shout out to you there in Mars. I think that's awesome. Let me know how trading is there, because I feel like I'm going to live on Mars one day myself. So here we go. All right. $29. I mean, is that going to be our next little area there for support on Roblox? If it is, then that does give us that dollar trade club. So I'm going to put a bid there. I don't care. The dollar trade club is just I told you, Captain Content. We're just made that up. We don't actually look for a dollar. If it actually comes through, fine. What I'm actually going to look for right here is that same fill that I just had. So if it comes back down into 29.10, we'll just take that again. Nice move down, but we only have 20% left of this trade. So, you know, once we got into here into 50s, we took probably about 20% there, another 10 there, 10 all the way down. And again, we're trading on a prop floor, so we have direct market access. So I get paid every single time I trade if I add liquidity. So if I'm just sitting here with 1,000 shares, I don't have 1,000 shares on Roblox, but if I was sitting here with 1,000 shares and I used any of these paid gateways, they would roughly pay you anywhere from $1.50 to $2.20 or so per 1,000 shares. So it's not, that's dollars. It's not a lot of money by any stretch of the imagination, but that allows me to go in and out. If I was sitting like on a retail account or something, and of course had to pay $9.99 or $4.99 or whatever you're paying, then me today having 300 fills would not be ideal for that style of trade. But that's why just trade your own book, understand the positions I take, and you know, if you don't trade like me, then you make a hell of a lot more money than me, because all these trades that I have on are bank. So, you know, if you've been holding them, you know, you may want to consider getting some of that out. And, you know, we're just giving trade ideas, and it's up to you guys to execute against them. So I am going to be watching Plug Power for earning. I've already done all the notes. Yeah, it's one of the big ones. So what I'm going to be focusing on, and I've already tweeted it out, make sure that everybody does join me. We don't have too much longer until the imbalances, so I'm going to get this over real quick. I've already tweeted it out. Go over to me. Thanks for all the love on this, by the way. I talked about how I feel blessed 2 days ago. I look like hell because right after Rome. I landed 8 hours before this or whatever. 20,000 views, thank you so much. But here we go. Here's the link. Go get it. We're going to be looking at Disney Plug Win and the Trade Desk coming through. So let's see. There's a lot more, but those are the ones that we'll be focusing on here into the close with only 20 seconds before imbalances hit.
Yeah, 20 seconds for imbalances. Very quickly,
Google broke,
NCMI
man.
is moving to the upside. This is a reverse split breakout mover. Oddly enough, it does not flush after getting the reverse. It's actually going to the upside, so good for them. Way too late in the day to chase it, and another low liquidity name. Maybe file it away for tomorrow. This has been a recent play where you get a couple of days worth of squeeze when some of these reverse split names go to the upside. They pretty much all come back in because that's what happens after a reverse split, generally speaking. So be careful chasing something like that. It is 350. The imbalances are out, and it's not. I mean, it's all sell side. I see Intel, I see Apple, I see Cisco, I see J&J, all over $1 million. Microsoft, Amazon, $1 million. Yellow is $1 million to sell. That's not a good thing for Yellow. XOM's a sell, Google's a sell. Any buys here? I don't really see any. Faraday Futures is a buy, but that's a 20-cent stock. Mullen's a buy, but that's an 11-cent stock. Everything is to the sell side. Lyft is a sell. I'm in it, but it's not really moving just yet. Tesla, I just saw Tesla. It's a 50,000 or 500,000 sell on Tesla. So pretty much every single big tech name is a sell, unless I'm reading this wrong, but I'm not. It's all sell side. Not a good look. Yellow to show up on the sell imbalance is not a good look at all. That's actually kind of nasty. So it is sell side imbalances. The market is heading low. We're now 1% down on the NASDAQ. The ES holding up better because energy has been the place to be, at least today.
Come on, dog. One of the biggest tech names in the universe is here as a buy. We got Mullen is down here as a buy.
It's huge.
Right now, so that's a big one.
It's huge.
Okay. Google is now officially a Dollar Club member. I mean, there it is right there. Nice little move to the downside for Google. So, we got that trade, putting some money in the pockets here once again, as there goes Google to the downside. Apple, Google, Amazon today, well-traded names, definitely to the downside there as it goes. Well, Twilio, wait a second. How come I didn't get, oh, wow. Twilio goes, what? Okay, yeah, so I should have got stopped there on that 80 break. I don't see, that's another thing. I don't know why that was error there. I got error that the script did not run. So I don't know. I've tried to ask about why that happens. I don't know why. But we did not get that run there on Twilio. So unfortunately, script does not run on that, but that's okay. So right now, Twilio does bounce back up to 60. So let's just take that out. This is, basically it was a great trade off this bottom here at 59. So you are trying to bounce around a little bit here. We'll sit here and see if we can't get something out on Twilio. Google there. Oh, sorry, I just switched off of it. Just got filled there. So it just ripped up there. We just got filled on Twilio. We got 94. Not great as it goes to 60, but that's okay. Right now, Roblox did do a dance down. Let's punch a lid. There we go. We just punched a little bit out. You saw a whole bunch of stuff happen there at 30. We punch a little bit out there at 30 as it makes that move down. And now we're very, very light on everything. And again, thanks so much to everybody for supporting this show. I'm going to head over in just a couple minutes over there to the big desk and get prepped out for that closing show where we do have a lot of earnings to talk about coming through. A plethora. I love that word, of earnings. So let's close out our Google trade. It is that Dollar Club member. So let's just put it officially now for $1. Let's get $1 flat. There it is. Ring the cash register. We get $129.80. That's $1. There's Google. We'll close that out right there. Nice trade at the end of the day for GOGGLE.
Yeah, oh, just one reminder. In 2 minutes, a lot of those imbalances are probably going to pair off. If the market's at the low, you might see a bit of a bounce play. So you might want to take some profit. That's what I'm doing. You're going to get to the low of the day again on Lyft. As I said, you'll see me in that penny stock for the rest of the day. I'm probably going to take the closing print on that stock. So you'll see it probably show up. And that's PTRA. WeWork I am getting out of. Rivian just tagged almost 10% down. Looks like it's going to end up closing on the low. Nasty, nasty day if you couldn't find those shorts. I don't know what to tell you. Wait a minute. Oh no, my graphics aren't working. That's weird. Okay, hopefully that means the countdown will work. Because right now my Stream Deck is not working. But that's all right. We got 1 minute and then the pair off event is likely to happen. You still have mostly sell imbalances. Intel stuck around. All the bigger tech names have all shrunk. So Apple's cut in half, now 600,000 to sell. Yellow's gotten bigger. So that was 900,000 to sell. Now it's 1.2 million to sell. Let me just quickly check out Yellow. Like, what's it? Oh, that is nasty. Yeah, that's. I mean, they could be going bankrupt, right? So that's the downside. It sucks. I hope no one's really caught long in this. It was just at 290 off that reopen. It is absolutely plunging down at $2 with the sell imbalance on it. This is getting pretty nasty at the end of the day here. So, yikes. That's kind of nasty. Good luck with that one. I'm not chasing this move.
You never want to hold those in.
No, you never want to hold these going into the close.
Hard to predict.
Yeah, million sell and bounce. It actually started growing there. So yeah, Yellow down 35% and still falling.
All right, so we got out of Roblox there. We got out at 45 just to end that trade right there. We got a good 30 there. Now back up to 45 as here comes the flip over of the imbalances. Whoa, where did my imbalance locator go? There it is. Okay, so Intel still a sell. Let's see if it did anything to Intel there. Yeah, a little bit of a gap down there on the sell. So nice move down. Wow, Intel now pushing lower. Yeah, as if. Like yesterday we were short there, not short today, and it wants to go down. So that makes sense because the day is a short one here for the NASDAQ. Is my Tesla going to get filled before tomorrow or not? Ooh, here we go. There you go. If we put that max order in at 242.69, we would have got filled already. So let's see if it does pull back down into 242 there for Tesla. I just was trying to buy something near the end of the day. It does dip down to 34s there. Just a few minutes left here before the market does close. What a nasty move down for Tesla. You know what? The next time I get those feels again, this one, see, for Tesla. So again, although it's moving down $4 here, I would have probably waited for something up here, 247. So I'm not going to feel bad about that because if I did take a 246.50, which I might have done, it would have only been 20 to 30% of the position. So we would not have had the full position anyways. That 247.50 probably would have been my stop right there against this 247. So we would have taken some there if it would have happened, but there's a nice move down for Tesla, needless to say. So nice move there for Tesla if you got it.
So if you're in Yellow, it's actually halted to the downside now. So halted up to halted down, and it just fell a full $1. It will open back up at 4 o'clock. At least that's what's supposed to happen. The reopen will be the closing print, and then there'll be aftermarket trading. We're going to get to the earnings board. The tap right now on Yellow is $1. It halted at 187. So that's potentially getting really, really nasty. But let's see that earnings board. You've already teed off what you're going to be looking at, Sean. There's a couple of names in here that you've mentioned. Obviously, Walt Disney, Plug Power, Win should be interesting. Not till tomorrow, but tomorrow morning there's at least one name that I'm for sure going to be on. Alibaba was a great long off the bottom. We know these Chinese ADRs can go. I do want to trade that one for sure tomorrow. Probably the only name reporting in the morning that I show any interest in. Krispy Kreme, I haven't looked at that in forever. But yeah, you got the big ones tonight, I do think, with Trade Desk, Walt Disney, Plug Power, and Win after the bell.
D-Nut tomorrow with that donut.
Yeah, I don't even know what price that is.
Ready to get going there tomorrow. So yeah, man, great opportunities today into the closing show.
What?
Oh, I was muted because I was going to go over to the other side.
Oh,
there.
right.
I said D-Nut is what I said there. So shout out to D-Nut there.
Well,
yeah, I feel like it was a good opportunity to short a couple names there into the close as the market now breaking lower down to that 15,180. So yeah, good day so far. I guess at some point I got to go over there to the desk. We got to figure out a better way of doing this.
Well, I think what we can do is I can close it and throw it back over to you guys.
Yeah, I mean, you're capable of
We can
doing
make
that.
it work. Is my countdown going to work? Am I just going to do it by I'll count it down anyways. I just don't know if my button's going to work. I'll try this and see. Okay, good. Looks like they're working again. So in about 90 seconds, we have the close. I will be looking at Yellow right at 4 o'clock because I just want to see what happens with this name. It has not been nice. Pretty much everything was tanking, just checking out the things that I got out of there.
Click at 350.
Yeah, that would have been pretty nice to hold on to a few of those things. Rivian continues to fall to the downside. I am, like I said, I'm taking the closing print on that PTRA.
I guess
wow, Rivian just continued to flush. Really should have held on to that. That was pretty much fantastic to the downside. And I'm in that penny stock, that PTRA. So 1 minute to go, then we get the bell. Keep your eyes on Cura, Tony says. Cura Oncology. What's it doing here? I just want to double check it quickly. Anytime someone brings up a name, I do like looking at it. Look at the daily very quickly. Not bad. 1150 for a breakout. Looks pretty solid on that. Not bad. I mean, it's kind of worthy of a squeeze kind of play. It is bouncing off the lows here today. Katrine is locked and loaded. She is going to be on the bell in 40 seconds. But it has been a wild, wild hump day. I can't think of a day we had more stocks 10% down, SSR all over the place. It was wild. It was difficult if you were trying to catch those bounce plays that were long. Some of them were good last week. Today was not the day for that. It was a day to stay short, hold short, get into short, all that good stuff. Hopefully tomorrow there's some longs to find for you. But for now, we're going to get that countdown on. Here we go, Katrine, in 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Ring it. The casino is closed. Yellow is now making fresh lows because that's what it does. It is continuing to fall here, catching a bit of a bid at 168, but that is absolutely wild. Opened up on Q. If you weren't here, if you weren't paying attention, this halted to the upside. Then there was the news, of course, that ended up being the same thing they had said yesterday. It opened back up and is now plummeting. They could be going under here. The market, oh my goodness. I know how it was because I can look at my NASDAQ chart. Brendan, give us some good news. Was there anything strong today?
Having a look at a few things here as we get you wrapped up for the day. Just hearing that this executive order from U.S. President Biden going to come through on specific Chinese stocks, so preventing investment into specific Chinese stocks. So here's Alibaba, 0.8 right now in positive territory, but just be aware some of these Chinese ADRs could be flying around here. In the aftermarket, overall, that is how things end the day. Pretty mixed as far as the S&P 500 is concerned. We are still looking at a pretty red board, though, as far as tech is concerned. Amazon, 1% to the downside there. Meta leading the way, along with some of the semiconductors. 2.2% for Meta. Oracle, 1.8% in the red. Microsoft down 0.6%. Google red. Apple red. NVIDIA, though, 4% downside for NVIDIA. 3.5% for Broadcom. AMD, 2%. That was offset, though, by a little bit of strength in energy specifically. We did get that inventory number at 10:30 this morning, 5.5 to the upside versus 2.5 expected. So still a positive day for oil. Just seeing trade desk, TTD numbers coming across. So the trade desk reporting here, moving around already in the pre-market. 4-month low when all is said and done. Banks weak as well. Remember Moody's with that downgrade for some of the mid-tier banks and some of the small-tier banks. That was yesterday. Banks still weak, though, today. Again, 4-week low here for the NASDAQ as we wrap things up on a Wednesday. All eyes then shift to this coming up tomorrow, CPI data at 8:30 Eastern. Remember to be with us in the pre-market. 8:30 Eastern, we'll give you July CPI inflation data. As I mentioned, that crude oil number coming through this morning at 10:30. Much bigger build than expected, 5.8 million barrels versus slight drawdown that was expected. So that's the cues when all is said and done, right at session lows, essentially. We're downside in a big way to the tune of 1%. 1 month low, ton of earnings coming across as Sean is getting prepared beside me.
Thank you for joining the after show today. We just got the trade desk coming through. What an exciting day that was trading today. I mean, an absolutely busy day.